Bruce is head coach of the South African national team, Bafana. So they are in the AFCON and they are hoping that it will go well. The last time they played in the AFCON, they finished third. They finished third in Cote d'Ivoire, right? Yeah, they finished third in Cote d'Ivoire. So they are hoping that they'll be able to do one better, two places better. You get it? The South Africans won the AFCON in 1996, and then they finished second in 1998. Since then, it's not been the best of runs for them until they finished third in Cote d'Ivoire in the last tournament. So that's the lowdown concerning South Africa and how they are getting ready for the AFCON. Your comments are welcome. Time check is 7:40. 054-257-1061. 054-257-1061. Let's go to the line. Let's get some more thoughts from Black Galaxy's head coach, Kasim Mengo Okanse. Let's get to him. He's joining us from South Africa. Coach, good morning. Thank you so much for joining us. Welcome to the Sporty Breakfast on Sporty FM.
Good morning. How are you doing?
We are fine. Thank you. How are you doing?
I'm fine. By the grace of God, I'm doing well.
Wonderful. I just played your clip. You spoke about, your contentment with the performance of the players and all of that. The morning after the game, do you still feel that way? Have you reflected more on the match, and what insights or what have you learned about this collection of players that you have after yesterday's friendly?
Okay, I'm here to watch the match, the video, the recording match. Normally after every match you have to sit down, watch the match, do your analysis and see what went wrong, and then you go to the drawing board and correct settings. So I'm here to see, but the performance was great. They did a human job. What they did for me. We are in a rebuilding stage, but I'm satisfied with whatever I saw. Rome was not building the team. That we will get there.
Great stuff. When what were some of the biggest things you observed from the team? What were some of the biggest lessons you learned, or what were some of the big things you noticed about the team that you took to South Africa to play in yesterday's game?
They were prepared to defend the flag of Ghana. When we were going, a lot of people underrated it. They thought, South Africa is going to humiliate us, because where they've reached, South Africa, one of the best teams in Africa now, and with the local boys, I think some of people don't respect them, they don't regard them, they can play. So thought they were going to humiliate us. But when I saw their willing power, the can-do spirit, and they are tactically disciplined, and we were unlucky. We've lost that game. We did our best, especially in the second half. We dominated the game. We created all the chances, but we couldn't. I saw they were prepared to learn. What I've seen from this team, they are prepared to learn. So if a player is prepared to learn, he will go far.
Great stuff. So now that this assignment is done, what is the next thing? What is the next thing for you? What is the next thing for you in terms of this team? What is the next big thing on your plate as you prepare them for assignments ahead?
There are some of the players we invited, but they could not join us because of injury and club commitment. So, and few players that we couldn't invite them because of the time. We had a short time to prepare for this assignment. We will invite all of them to come for us to assess them and see those we need to beef up the team. We will continue preparing because we have the CHAN qualifying next year.
Okay.
So we have to prepare and get the team in place before we start playing the competition.
Finally, Coach, what did you make of the South Africans, your opponents? They are going to the AFCON and all of that. What did you make of, the kind of test they offered you? And what can you say about their chances potentially in terms of the AFCON?
They are one of the contenders for the tournament, AFCON tournament. Look, nobody should underrate them. Nobody should underrate them. Look, tactically, they are good. They are very good side. But only our boys were tactically disciplined. So we watched their clips. I watched 2-3 of their clips. And we saw what to do to prevent them from doing. So the boys were, that's why people didn't see that South Africa were on top. We couldn't allow them to play what they've been doing. We didn't allow them to do it. Because we saw from the clip, we strategized for the game. We know when you block here, block them, they will find it difficult. And the boys were prepared to work. So they did what we asked them to do, and they did it. South Africa is a great team, all-round team. From defense, midfield, and attack. They are super. Right? Our boys, you should give credit to our boys.
Interesting. Coach, thank you. We won't take too much of your time. Thank you so much. Congrats on taking up the assignment. And, I'm happy with what you said, that you've learned a lot about this team. I'm sure there are a lot of other players who you'd, I'm sure, give opportunities to as you prepare for the CHAN qualifiers, and hopefully things will be better for all of us.
There are some players who are supposed to join us because of injuries, club commitment, and one or two players that we will all invite them to come to assess them to see who can fit into the team, and we add them to the team we have.
Okay, wonderful. Coach, thank you so much. We wish you a safe flight back to Ghana and all the best.
Thank you.
All right, that was Kasim Okansemengo, head coach of the Black Galaxies. Yesterday they lost to Bafana, but he says the exercise was wonderful. They learnt a lot. He learnt a lot about the team, and he's hoping that going forward he'll have a fuller squad to work with, and things should be better for the Black Galaxies in terms of the CHAN qualifiers. Raymond Yamado is here. Abigail Senasusu is joining us. Calvin Uzwansa is also here. Guys, you had your eyes on that game. Abigail, your own impressions of the Galaxies and what they did. Kasim N'Golo Kante says he was happy with the exercise. He saw a determined side. What did you see from the Galaxies when they played yesterday?
Well, I thought that they didn't give too much respect to the South African team. They tried their best, but for some players that some of us thought should have started the game, given what they've done in the local league in the last 14 weeks. I think that it was fairly good. We saw some individual players away from their club, and those that played together in their club as well. You saw that understanding, that telepathy. Salim and Kamaradini at a point in time, you could see that that command from Kamaradini, especially, that trying to make sure things go. I was impressed with Emmanuel Ano, but I think that he will need to gain a lot of strength if he really wants to play football after, because he was bullied around a little by CBC and Ndamani. But apart from that, I thought that at least we could have given our local top scorer the chance to start this game, because come on, apart from the fact that it's an exercise, we also would have fancied the option or the opportunity to win. So if you have a setting Samuel Atakumi who is making waves locally, maybe he could have led that attack for us as well, but he just got 4 minutes after the 90. There's no magic he can do with that, and I like the urgency of Rudolf Mensah as well when he also got in there, just like Hugo Bruce did. I thought that maybe Kasim N'Golo would have allowed all of the players some good minutes, because this South African side that played with Ghana, just 3 players from the last team that played against Zambia starred in this game. So clearly he was giving himself the opportunity to let everybody have a feel of it, to see how he would be able to use them. From the goalkeepers, even the goalkeepers had their fair share of this game. Rowan played in that Zambian friendly, but he sat out here, and there was Goss and then Chinadi here. So I only wanted to see our very best there. I thought that maybe Felix Shea could have started ahead of Lawrence, but not to take anything from the goalkeeper's trainer. He saw the two goalkeepers in training and decided which ones to start. I didn't have a problem with our centre pair because locally, arguably, they are the best that we have. Yeah, I can say locally they are, if not the best,
Sporty
two of the best that we have. So I didn't have any problem with that at all. But I thought that it was a bad day for Nanakwesi Asante, the Vision FC captain. I didn't really see what he added to playing the middle. It looked like he was a little overwhelmed by the stage or the atmosphere, but it was good for us to see him in that light as well. Prince also continued from where he left off and gave us the reason why at a point in time he also got to be a part of our senior national team. I think that the players that have been with our national team over time or before exhibited that exposure they've had, if I can say that. You could see that they really stood out. Their play was on a different level. But up front was where my problem was. I thought after 45 minutes, after Emmanuel Arnaud did everything he could and was not getting the goal. Atakumi could have started the game, the second half, not play the last 4 minutes of the game. But it was a good exercise. I really wanted to see all the players play because we might not get to see some of them in the next call-up for the CHAN qualifiers, but someone could have been able to make a name for himself. Lions, head of Lions defensive midfielder as well, it was good. It could have been better, but we'll keep it at that. I think that he should continue to be a part of the Black Galaxies, and he will come good. He will help the team, but typically, I really wanted to see Atakumi on that stage again. And he's been to Africa with
Gold Stars.
Just this year. Only that things didn't go well for maybe any Gold Stars. But I felt that he could have added a lot more bite up front to what Arnaud did for us. But apart from that, like Coach said, there's a lot we would have to learn from this one, even with the second string side of South Africa, and then they were able to put up this behavior. We are not celebrating the defeat, but I think that at our level, we are just appreciating the exposure that some of these players have had that they wouldn't have had if not for the Black Galaxy stage that they have been presented with. But I think that there are a lot more talent we would have to look into. I mean that Samuel Boadu and Atram can just sit back and expand their scope when they are scouting for the Black Galaxies. I think Lord Amon's inclusion in the second half also was good. I thought he brought some urgency as well. So his timing for the changes was a little problematic. His timing for the changes, yes. There are a lot of talent on the bench that if maybe had been on the pitch earlier, we could have at least done something in the second half, because the percentage, our possession increased in the second half. For the first half, it was a total dominant play from the South Africans. But I think after recess, when we came in, they lifted their game up to a certain level to have amassed almost 40% of the possession of the ball that was played. So I think that we had a better second half. If we had more playing time for the changes that we did, it could have really helped. So a good exercise, we can learn and get better.
Kelvin, your thoughts on the performance yesterday of the Black Galaxies?
Well, it could have been better. They had. I think we had a team that could have performed better than we saw.
Okay.
Yeah, if the coach had made certain decisions, we were cowards to cover up too much. How do you play Kwesi Asante, Salim Adams, Echedogli together? I don't get it. They are all DMs.
Oh, so we were ultra defensive.
Thank you. How do you play 3 defensive midfielders in a game? I don't get it. I looked at the setup and I'm like, why? Casemiro Lokansi. You're a coach who wants to express. So how do you go and cower there?
So you were expecting a bit more adventure, because three DMs is a lot.
Yes, that's my concern.
He's selecting the best for
3 defensive midfielders. It was the reason why when the squad was released, we were thinking about someone like Sufyan Usman.
Yeah. Currently, he's on the assist chart.
Thank you.
Yeah. So that speaks to a certain creativity.
Exactly.
Yes, he can do things on the ball.
Fine, we understand. Mediama are playing well, but the other team's playing well. if you pick Kusi Asante, then I would also make a case for Hohoi's Daniel Osei. And I ask questions. How do you play and you play ultra defensive like that? And Razak Simpson should get to note this. He has dipped so much in form. He has dipped so much in form. And it was the reason why some of us were calling for Ruben Hennessy and other options. We don't mind. If Mediama had more players and then their league game was rescheduled for them, we can also have other teams having players. And then they would have their games rescheduled and then they'll play them later. So I think Kasim Mingolo Kansi and Samuel Boadu and Atram, they were overly defensive. And I was, come on, what is this? And you are playing a game and you leave Emmanuel Ano as your center forward against this back line of the South Africans who are bullish. When you had players who had that physique and they play like that, that sort of play will suit them. Like Rudolph. That was Rudolph. So why don't you play Rudolph? So that he can battle it out with them. Then the scraps can be picked up by Ano. Because Ano is diminutive. He doesn't have that muzzle to battle it out with tall, lanky, bulky centre backs. There was no way it was going to happen. And just as we were talking, even South Africa did not play some of their, strong lads.
Changed squad.
There's this guy that lots of talks in I miss his name, Lazy or what. That guy that Hugo Bruce had issues over. He did not even play. And a number of them. Now talking about it, what was Suraj Saidu doing in that lineup? Why? Suraj Saidu, no. Dreams, yeah. He hasn't been good this season.
Okay.
And we get to play and we want someone to feed Ano with the ball, help up front. Already the coach is playing a defensive game.
Yeah.
Salim, Dogli, Nana Kusi Asante. Then you add Suraj to them. And now it's left with Prince Owusu and Ano. You look at both players, they want the ball at their feet. They are not instinctive and thinking about goal scoring. Maybe Ano, but Ano would have to work his way out from the flanks. When Rudolph was brought in the second half, do you see the ball that hit the post? That was Rudolph. He's instinctive, and currently he's on form. This is a player who scored 27 goals in 30 games in the Division 1 before he moved to the Premier League, and already he's part of the top scorers with 5. And you have a top scorer in Ghana's league, and you put him on the bench. I don't know whether there were injury concerns. I'm sorry, you didn't want to disturb him. But if you had gone long, I would have asked questions. I didn't know you were going to end that way. How do we go into a game like that? And then this was a time for us to test ourselves against the PSL, and for Hugo Bruce and South Africa to know. Fine, we understand there are pre-warm-up games to tournaments that players don't give in their 100%.
Yes.
And Bruce was even saying it, that the players don't know whether they should give their 100. Maybe if they had played against a high-profile side. Yesterday, you watched the Nigeria-Egypt game and you could see everyone was very much involved. It was end-to-end. Now, after those players, Isaac Afful isn't the best left-back in the league currently. Abdulaziz Azizes. Going forward, we are going to watch the league, from now, and I know some are going to drop off, and others will be there.
Yeah. Between now and the Chan qualifiers.
Abdulaziz Azizes, we understand he's building a team. But as you build a team, players who are performing now, who are meritorious of the slot, should be given the opportunity to play. You don't play because of history. And Razak Simpson has already given himself doubts that other players will be coming in. Fine, he may be the captain of the team, but if he's not doing well, he drops off. Others come in. Then he will have to work for his place. Now, Lawrence will say, yesterday I was a bit disappointed with the goal. I'm sure Stephen Aholu, who is his goalkeeper trainer at the Black Galaxies and at Club side,
Heart of Lions,
will be questioning, Lawrence, why? Why don't you go with one stretch, one arm?
He went with two.
He went with two, and that was shortened already. You are not a goalkeeper who is too tall, and you have enough reach for these kind of efforts.
Wrong decision.
So these are the petty decision making, I think, that
went wrong. Kamaldeen, yes, I've had issues about him, but his overall control in defense and all that, at least it gives him an option. But Lord injected a bit of pace. Many are questioning Echedogli's performance, but I tell you, if you are playing DMs, they would be at one place.
Yeah.
It would be like the Partey Saleh Samed syndrome at the World Cup.
Yeah.
And people were happy because it was square passes from Saleh Samed. So they were happy and they thought Partey was the one not playing well. It was the same thing.
You don't get anything from
very
that
good.
midfield. It's a very safe.
Very good. There was no movement
midfield
for him. Positioning was problematic because they were all circled around a zone. And that did not give him the best. If you watch him at Heart of Lions, he doesn't play that way. That is not how he plays. It was because Kusia Asante, Salim himself, they were all at one zone. So it was more like, when I get the ball, see, it's a very tight space. So what do? I go for the safer option.
Of course.
And he's not a phase one build-up player. The phase one build-up players, he decided to leave them. Fuzi Taylor, Sufianu Usman, the Seydou Sanes who would pop up. He left all of them and he went with these players. So I'm sure from what they have seen, they will give us better options next time. And then they'll make, decisions and not go and cower into their shells and be like the tortoise. If everyone runs away, then they pop up their head to come and eat. South Africa, yes, good. It may be a good result for them. They'll be happy with what they've seen because luckily no injuries, and then they are going in there safe. But trust to go Bruce. He's going to have the regulars play, and then when they pop up and he has that full complement of team, they are going to do well. So credit to these players. If we consistently give them, maybe next month we try get Togo to play. In February, we try get maybe Burkina to play. Then we try get Nigeria to play. Not the senior national team, but their Chan teams. Let's just play. Give these guys exposure. There are times they need exposure because on the local scene, we are not getting enough continental experience. When our Black Galaxies or our local Black Stars were doing very well, you check. The players who were playing, Jordan Opoku and the likes, they were playing Africa interclub competition, so we had enough quality. But now, the experience is zero. There's a reason why CAF want to open up and allow that if you play on the continent, you can come and play for the Black Galaxies or the Chan team.
Chan team. Because currently the Chan teams are just
very good
for those who play in their countries.
So when they open up and then you have those options, that is when the likes of Jonathan Sowa and all those who
these guys
who have moved out.
When was the last time you heard of him?
But Suraj is he playing well? Is Suraj playing well? Is Suraj playing well? I'm just saying that they open the scope and then you have players who are playing outside in Africa. If they are not good enough, they will not be called. If they are good enough, then they will be called to do what? To come and play. So, well, it's a good exercise, and hopefully, maybe I was expecting maybe the second half, maybe Felix Shea could have also been given that option, but I'm sure maybe they were just trying to monitor something. But, and overall, the coaches did not help us. They did not help us. They should not come and do may he so rest in peace. Anoka and then what Ogum did at the channel. That disappointing performance and that display, we don't want that again. There are players who are performing, they are playing well. If you want to build a team, build it with them.
Yeah. Michael Asabod is also joining us. Michael, good morning. How are you doing?
Good morning, Nathan. I'm good. Good morning, guys.
Yes, I'm fine, and we are fine too. I'm sure you've been listening to Abigail and Kelvin. Where do you stand on this? Abigail says overall it was a good test. There were a few hitches here and there. Kelvin says the midfield mix we used against South Africa just did not allow creativity. It was too static and rigid. Where do you stand on this? What's your own takeaway from the Black Galaxies encounter with South Africa yesterday?
Well, I think to start with, this was a worthy exercise for the Black Galaxies. We don't often get opportunities for our local based players to play outside the country or play together. And I don't know on whose invitation not to play the Bafana Bafana, but I think it's a wonderful initiative, and I suggest that there should be more of this. Our players will need that exposure. They will need to be exposed to different African teams. They will need to play outside Ghana to taste what it tastes like, and such experiences will only help them shape their careers and then will help them through their local league as well. I was part of a team that traveled with Asante Kodoko to South Africa for that game against Kaiser Chiefs, and I could tell what it meant to the individual players and what it has done for them. I dare say Lord Amwa and how he plays confidently this season also stems from the fact that he's been able to play in South Africa, play against a Nigerian opponent, and also play in Morocco. All these will shape how he sees the game, and then it will give him a certain level of confidence as well. And it runs true. So yes, on the evidence of what I saw with the Asante Kodoko team, I also felt that this was a very worthy exercise for the local breed of Ghana Premier League players who represent the Black Galaxies. And these are the same crop of players who will form the core of a team who will select to play in the CHAN qualification phase. So clearly, I think it was a very necessary exercise. Now to the game proper, I saw a team that lacked the needed chemistry. They did not really have that kind of cohesion. It was much more like, yes, they hadn't played together, and that was evident in how we play. And that also informed the kind of selection our coaches did. Kasim Okanse Mengo, Godwin Atram, Samuel Bodo, and the rest of the technical team. I think that they selected the team we saw with the mindset of not losing the game, especially in the first half. And that explains for why we congested the midfield with defensive-minded midfielders and barely had more offensive midfielders who could help with ball progression, ball carry, who could shield the ball, were press resistant, and as such could help us to at least conserve possession for a sustained period. That wasn't necessarily seen in our game. We tried to go direct, and also the options up front kind of limited us. And if you go through, I think on the basis of form at their respective clubs, Kasim Okanse Mengo did not select his best 11. Because if you are looking now for form at all the clubs that these players play for, I don't think I would bench someone like, I don't know if Emmanuel Mafu made the trip, but he was not even part of the substitutes. Again, if you look at Lord Amwa, Kamaradine, Mamadou, it is a difficult task if you have to select one. But I think on the evidence of what I've seen so far, yes, Kamaradine Mamadou is one of the best right backs in the league. He's my boy, he's my guy. But clearly I would select a Lord Amwa at his expense, because in a game like this, if you look at how the South Africans play, how aggressive they are, how forward-thinking they are, how pacey they are, how direct they play their football, you would need someone like Lord Amwa to counter them. He comes in with that physique. He comes in to match the aggression. He gives you that pace that you need. So I would have started him at the right back. Isaac Afo as a left back for FC Samates. He went on a lengthy injury. He returned. He's played like 6 games consistently, but he's not really picked up in terms of where his fitness levels and his physicality should be. And I believe the best left back in the Ghana Premier League is Abdulaziz, and he's part of your squad. Give him an opportunity to prove himself, to justify that his club form would actually translate into him playing very well at the national team level. He was left on the bench and I just have to play throughout, because I believe this exercise, in as much as it was playing against South Africa and doing well, was also an opportunity for these coaches to test these local players. So if you go throughout the entire phase of the game without trying such players, then the coaches rid us of the opportunity to see how some of these players will fare in international games. That aside, you look at the center back pair of Ebenezer Ban and Razak Simpson. I think they were two like for like. And on the basis of form, Razak Simpson is not necessarily up there. If you want to play central defenders and look out for solid partnership, you have to play two players who complement each other. Where one has weakness, the other shows up.
Yes.
And then they are able to amplify their respective strengths, and that will help the team to achieve. Ebenezer Ban is a leader. He basically commands the back line at Heart of Lions, and Ruben Hennessy would do the respective work to complement him. It is the same role that Razak Simpson plays. So if you play two leaders at the back, what you're asking of your central defenders is that one will need to seed their leadership qualities and act in a role they are not really comfortable in, because they don't do that at their respective clubs. So if you ask them to do that in a game, it means it will be very difficult. And I understand why people are saying that Razak Simpson did not play well. He is one of the worst center backs, and they don't know why he was selected. It is the role assigned him, together with Ebenezer Ban. He will try to do something he is not comfortable with, and that is a problem. And I think the center back pairing, to me, was not the best. Maybe if you want to go with Razak Simpson, then go for an Ali Mohammed, someone to complement him, so that it will not really mean that the two central defenders are doing literally the same thing. And that is where I actually had a problem with. I think Kasi Mengo, by virtue of not really having enough time to train with these players to know them, I doubt if he knows everybody in the squad. He decided to go with the best option. One, familiarity. He knows Razak Simpson too well because he had coached him at Nations FC. Okay, Ebenezer Ban is one of the standout center backs in the league. Then let's pair them together. But I think if they had given much, let's say they had taken much serious, they had really assessed the squad, and then they had known these players for a longer period, then they would have informed their decision in making the best choice in terms of the central defenders. And I think it wasn't the best pair for us. Salim Adams, Eche Dogley, Prince Ousu, Nanakusi Asante. Now, this is where it gets interesting. So, Eche Dogley, Salim Adams were basically occupying the same zone. So, we had a congested midfield, not enough area for the midfielders to operate. And so, the moment they get the ball, they see or they are close to each other. And it did not really allow our midfielders to flow as they expect, because every midfielder would want a certain territorial dominance. They will want to operate freely in a certain zone so that they can circulate, distribute, and then carry. Eche Dogley, as I've seen him play at Heart of Lions, the synergy between himself and Ishmaelado is that the moment he receives the ball, he's able to send it directly to Ishmaelado, and then he operates in his space. So what Alice does is that Ishmaelado carries the ball from where Eche Dogley is, and Eche Dogley has enough space to operate. So the moment Heart of Lions lose possession, he scans the area and then picks out the opponent who will likely receive the ball, and then is able to snap at that opportunity. In this game, I saw that there were a lot of our midfielders in a very congested area. And so it limited the kind of operation that he would do, and it affected him. I don't think he played with the best midfield selection. It wasn't something that he enjoyed in, and he was very uncomfortable. And again, it feeds into the narrative that these coaches barely had time with these players just to try and then put them together, because you can have a very competitive squad, you can have a very good squad, but you would have to select those who complement each other, those who bring the necessary balance into the team to have a solid team. And I think we did not have a solid team. We had the best, a very good squad, names that are exciting to watch in the Ghana Premier League. But in terms of putting them together as an 11, we did not have a balanced team, a team that complemented each other very well. And that is what we saw on the field of play. Suraj Saidu, Emmanuel Ano, again, looking at how we played the game, we did not maximize the strength of someone like Arno. I think Arno does so well. If you want to play him centrally, he does so well when he has a target man to feed off. Or if you are playing him as part of a wing forward selection, then you will need a typical center forward that he can work with. And I think the best selection here would have been either Emmanuel Marfo or Rudolph Mensah. I don't know if Marfo made the trip. I stand to be corrected because he wasn't in the Gianna squad, but he wasn't also in the match day squad. And I don't know the situation. But if he made that trip, Marfo should have started this game because he's that center forward any wing attacker would love to play with. And that is how Ediana play. Marfo gets involved in the take of affairs. He's putting his body on the line. His hold-up play is excellent. And is able to link up perfectly with the other wing attackers at Ediana, Meja Kefriye, and then Henson and Ponsa. So he holds on to the ball and then he connects them. There are times where Ediana will just situate Marfo up front and the other attackers will join their midfield so that they have enough numbers. Now, the moment they win the ball, a quick switch from either Seydou Sana or any other midfielder finds Marfo and he holds up play looking for the runs of these wing attackers on either flanks, whether on the left or on the right. And that is how Ediana mostly initiate the attacking moves. So in this game, if we wanted to play like that, I think Marfo was the best outlet for us, but he wasn't even there. But even in his absence, you have Rudolph Mensah, who also gives you something similar. He's your typical center forward. And judging by the form that he's in, looking at the last few games he's played for Swedro All Blacks, I think he was the best guy to select in this situation and then use him to pair with the other attackers. I think Emmanuel and Rudolph Mensah would have surfaced, then it would have been okay for us. But then again, these are hindsight analysis, and I believe the coaches would have taken note of some of the things that went right and what did not actually work well for us. But, I think it's a worthy exercise. It is respectable that we did not really have enough time to camp to prepare for this game. For South Africa, it's a different story. They had put their league on hold, and then they had come this players for a very, like a considerable period. Again, the core of the team has been playing for a longer time under Hugo Bruce, and I think it is a reason why they had what they had in their team, and we did not have what we saw in our team. But all the same, this was a very worthy exercise for the Black Galaxies.
Well, the Galaxies losing by a goal to nil to South Africa in that friendly. Abigail, just concluding thoughts on the Galaxies. They've got the CHAN qualifiers next year. So between now and then, what do you think can or probably should be done to ensure that by the time the qualifiers come about, we do have a team that can get Ghana back to the CHAN?
Well, I think that we've all said a lot, but the underlining thing is that our coaches need to spread their tentacles wider, get more people to do the groundwork, because somebody is concentrating on how to survive with Chelsea. Atam Debisa is thinking about Division 1, going into the MTN FA Cup as well. Maybe Kasim Mingle or Kansi has a lot of time on his hands. But I feel that from all that we have all said, clearly the understanding of how to use these individual players is what they didn't play well for Mingle or Kansi and his charges. So they might have to get that understanding of the qualities these players possess and then bringing them together to see how it will work. Other than that, we'll always go with the names and then it wouldn't work. I agree perfectly. We said this the minute the lineup came up or the team, the squad came out, that Kasim Kansi clearly made a lot of choices based on people he's worked with.
Yeah.
It was so glaring the minute the squad was out, but I feel that we might have to move away from that and then give other French players or players that he has not seen or worked firsthand with their opportunity. It's like all of us have come to the assertion that Abdulaziz Aziz should have at least played for us, because twice I've been in Bekum. I've watched him play. I've been to Australia. I've watched him play for All Blacks, and I think that of course you cannot make any local squad and get him out of it. Ho United's captain as well, Sofian Osman, and so maybe they'll have to get more people on the ground to really get to watch some of these games. Yes, we are getting more games on television, so the games that might not be on television, maybe if he can be there or these coaches can be there because they have their individual clubs, I'm sure we need to be serious with our local team and get scouts as well to also be doing that job for us. Then we can understand some of these things. But and there are some that do not really need anyone telling you, like having your top scorer on the bench when you are playing a game to get goals. So I think that they would have to put in a lot more work, because if we all want to write down the qualities that we see week in, week out, it will be very difficult for him to at least call or use 20 out of those. But clearly there are some that will have certain advantages that will work to the betterment of the team as a whole. So more scouting, at least, to understand the quality that we have and the ones that will work better for us. At least now he has some first-hand information, and like I said in my concluding submission earlier, we might not see some of these players again in the next call-up that will come for the CHAN qualifiers proper. And I'm only sad that those on the bench, the quality on the bench that we didn't see in match situation under the national team umbrella, it'll be sad not to see some of them get that call-up again, like the Abdulaziz Aziz, like the Atakumis, like the Woodov that just had some 3-4 minutes into the game. It might be difficult to make statements for them if Tashu, they don't come back and continue with the form they have in the local league. So I would have really wished that we have allowed everyone to at least have a feel of this game like the South Africans did. For that one, I'll keep saying, but we are just hoping to see the best. So let's just understand a lot more work has to be done. Ghana cannot fail not to get to the CHAN next year.
I see. Calvin, just finally, after this exercise, the owners, I'm sure, I mean, maybe you can tell me, who has the responsibility, or who now has the bigger job of ensuring that when the qualifiers come about, Ghana will be ready? Is it the players who need to stay in form and play so well that nobody can make a counter argument, and not take them, or the coaches will have to open their eyes and ensure that the right players are chosen for the CHAN qualifying assignment?
So I think everything behoves on the coaches.
Okay.
Players come in and out of form, but you pick those who are currently on form to work it out with your team. There are times you may make decisions based on experience and then, relationship, or, a fairer knowledge of maybe a player that you know. For me, if someone like Kasim Ngolo decides to stick with, let's say, someone like Kamara Dini, though I may have doubts, he could be a good squad player, but on current terms, Lord Amwa will be higher. So if you have him as a backup to him, I wouldn't have issues. You get it? Someone like Suraj, I'm sure if the coaches are watching him, if you give 10 out of 10 coaches, I'm sure 9 of them will not select him. So maybe they would have to, look at their team properly and then assess the players well to select the very best at the time to make the squad. That is what national team football is about. You pick players who are on form and are able to, have the match fitness and readiness for each and every game you put them to. And then they must know the profiles of the players that they are calling. Just like Michael was saying, you can't put Salim and Echedogli and then they'll be fighting for one zone. Yeah, no, it doesn't work that way. You should know the profile of the players you are calling so that you have flexibility. And players if you look at the squad, there's no utility player in there. And the last time Michael was talking about Safiano, he can play as a left back, get into central midfield, get as a CAM, and even on the flanks. So you need some of these players in your team. So the update, Michael, is Emmanuel Marfo got injured just before the trip, and his place was taken by Dalvin Yeboah. So he's the one Dalvin replaced in the squad. The reason why Mafo did not even make the trip from Ghana because during their final or their last but one training session, he got a knock and then he had to just stay off from the game. So fine, good exercise. Casemiro can say well, it was quite a short period, but now knowing the deficiencies that he realized in his team, going forward together with Samuel Boadu and Atram, they should be able to deliver the best. I always say it, even if there is a Division 1 player who is performing well, and you watch Division 1 and you think that this boy has quality and can play, go and bring that guy. Echedogli was playing for Banana Inn. He only trained with Heart of Lions. They were just testing him in one of their preseason games.
And then
he's just taking over the slot. So it clearly gives you an indication that there are some of Division 1 players who are of top quality. So that you can pick and include.
The selectors will now have to widen the scope.
Yes, obviously. You need to widen the scope. Because if I have a Division 1 player and I think that player is better than a Premier League player, why not? I should just pick him. Now look at the last year. If someone like Rudolph has banged in 5 goals plus the 27 he scored, 32 in about 40-45 games, it clearly tells you that he's on top, better than most players, most attackers in the GPL.
Yeah.
So you can look back at the lower divisions and get 1 or 2 players and then come and fill in at the spaces where you think you have liability. And I'm sure we'll get to do better. I know when Benjamin Asari is fit enough and we are going for the channel and the Black Stars don't have an assignment.
Do you think
he may, but Casemiro has made it clear that he has his Black Stars position. And Osei and then Felix Shea. What Osei has given himself now is a lot of trouble, because now Felix would also be put in there. Fine, Felix has had a number of goals this season that you question also his positioning, just like what happened to Lawrence yesterday. So now the 2 goalkeepers, you would say, are at par. It was a great opportunity for Lawrence to just tell Felix that, gentlemen, you'd have to wait for years or months before you can get my slot. But now it's open for the 2. So I think it's, yes.
Not just for the 2. Agbasi is also coming.
Well, Agbasi is also coming.
So between now and the Chan qualifiers, the goalkeeper slot is still open because
it's not very much open. Wide open. Every position is wide open. Because Kotoko declined several players. Because they would have had the likes of Hubert, Jaopi, Tamidu,
yeah, of course, they are all very good. They are all options.
You get it?
Yeah.
Because they were names that Casemiro wanted to move with. But whether fortunately or unfortunately, they missed out on them. So every position is wide open. It's up for grabs. So if you lose form, I think the coaches should be firm enough. Pick players who are on form.
Well,
put them into the team and let's form a formidable squad.
That's the thing. I
remember when Max Oknedo handled the Chan team that won the Wafu.
2017.
He picked Isaac Twum. Many were talking, no, Isaac Twum, why we have Kotoko and nice players. But eventually, together with Lomote, they played and then they won the Wafu. They won it. That is the sort of coaching, that is the sort of decisions we want to have from this technical team. And we know they are coaches who make bold decisions. Someone like Atram, he doesn't care. He's seen it all. And now on BB. Samuel Boadu, we saw him at Heart to Folk, at Brecum Chelsea.
Yeah.
Casemiro Lokansi.
He was our nation.
If you've been able to nurture some of the top quality players we've seen on the local scene and who have played for the Black Stars, decision making shouldn't be a problem for you when you are picking the best for us.
I think what he went with, right? I think what he went with was familiarity. Maybe because he may not have had time, even though Kasim Mingo says that they had 2 to 3 weeks or so to get ready for this particular assignment. Maybe I don't know if they knew of this assignment before or this assignment was last minute, so they had to put a team.
I don't know if they speak to their coaches to also give them notes on the players and then, the understanding of their profiles and how they're also performing, because that is also pivotal. It's the reason why there are times we call for technical report after the season. And you won't get it.
Yeah.
Because
it'll be interesting to know,
as we sit here,
very good, and why certain players stand out or they don't.
You would have known.
if you go to the coaches now to even come and grant some of the interviews currently, contemporarily, coaches come, they are interviewed, and then they get us to know how they play, their tactics, how these players. Go to the Ghana Premier League coaches. Obi beti their version into one kakra. They will say it. They will open up, but it should be an eye opening for all these coaches. Just come on, let us know. So, well, I think yes, going forward, yeah, they would give us a better performance, and then I'm sure Kasim Mingolo Kansi knows that this is one of the top leagues in Africa. And they have players who are playing in the national team, because the entire South Bafana team almost made up of the PSL players.
Yeah.
So now he knows that the strength of the PSL, the strength of the Ghana Premier League, maybe I should be pitching up this way, doing things this way, and we'll be able to match up with them when we get to the CHAN. We cannot afford to miss out on another CHAN.
No.
Yeah, Kasim
Not at all.
kindly do some good work for us, and so we can go and play in the next CHAN. Yeah.
Not at all. Michael, as we wrap it up on this, a word or two on South Africa, or you think that because Hugo Bruce made so many changes, I guess we won't see the same setup when they start the AFCON. We'll see the bigger names getting the bigger names getting into the AFCON squad. But just your thoughts on what you saw from the South Africans.
I saw a team dominated by players who were eager to prove a point, and as such were rushing decisions. They clearly looked like they were going to play big part roles in the tournament. I think Hugo Bruce knows his best 11, and some of these players, yes, one way or the other, will be integrated in there. But what I saw is that many a South African player that played yesterday clearly were not really assured of their positions, and they were trying to do a bit too much to try and prove something to the coaches, and it affected their play. They were rushing passes, they were making the wrong runs. They tried to overdo things at a point in time. And that is typical of players who are not really a concrete part of the existing squad and who want to break into it. And as such, as part of a justifier, they want to prove themselves, and all these things happen. But I think what Hugo Bruce has done is that he's offered a competitive playing field for every player. Prove your worth, get selected. And he's done his selections on a meritorious basis. So if you merit it, definitely you will get in there. And I think it encourages players like we saw yesterday to always try to prove their best. There are times where how national teams select players certainly does not really incentivize the players who are not part of it to do their best, because you can go and sleep and wake up and you can mention the starting lineup from the goalkeeper to the last outfield player. But under Hugo Bruce, I think it's different. If you do well, irrespective of your age, your pedigree, or where you play, you will definitely get a selection. And it was interesting to note one thing that was going on in the comment section when the game was ongoing. It looked like the fans of Kaiser Chiefs and the other clubs felt the Orlando Pirates players were dominating, so they wanted to see what they can do. And when the game ended at halftime at 0-0, they started to poke fun and saying that Orlando Pirates, see what you are causing South Africa. And it was interesting to make some of these things. But it is part of it. It is just like maybe you select a national team dominated by Accra House of Folk players, and then the Asante Kodoko fans are saying that so that is something that we saw from the South African fans. But I think it was exciting. What I make of South Africa is that they want to build on from the successes they chalked at the last African Cup of Nations. And they want to improve and be better. They want to use this AFCON as a perfect grounds to prepare effectively for the FIFA World Cup. So, yes, unlike in the previous edition where there was a bit of a scare at the early stages of their tournament, this time around they come in with much more confidence, and they will be a better side than we saw at the last AFCON. How far they can go, only time will tell. But I think South Africa then and South Africa now is a very different side. They are much more improved. They are better. They have confidence. And then that tournament experience also will help them. So I am hoping that they'll do better than they did in the previous edition.
Well, we'll see how the South Africans will fare in the AFCON. They get their run. They start their run. I think, against Angola in the AFCON when it starts this weekend. It's they start against Angola on the 23rd of December. So quite interesting. We'll see a stronger squad. We'll see a more familiar South African looking team when the AFCON starts this weekend. Time check is 8:34. You can send in your comments 054-257-1061, 054-257-1061. This is the Sporty Breakfast. You are listening to us live on 106.1. Your comments are welcome. 054-257-1061. What did you make of the Black Stars B, the Black Galaxies? Were you impressed? What did you not like about the squad? I guess the general consensus around the table from Michael, from Kelvin, from Abigail is that we could have done better in terms of the scouting, the profiling, and the selection mix we took to South Africa. And the starting lineup we even deployed in the game. Players like Sofiane should have made it because he's a very different type of midfielder, right? He's a very different type of midfielder. We went with a very similar profile in midfield, three midfielders of the same kind. If you look at the center backs, we went with two of the same kind. So I just hope that Kasim Mingo will learn a lot from this and have better selection mixes, because in football they'll tell you that the profiles or is the mix of the players that will get you the result. They need to complement each other. It's like a puzzle. You can't have 10 similar pieces in a puzzle and expect them to fit. Puzzles only work when you have different things that complement each other. So I hope that going forward they'll learn. 8:36. Let's give you our AFCON feature for the morning. I'm told that we are getting a very interesting guest. Henry Asante Twum, who is the GFA's communications director, will be joining us hopefully this morning. So let's get into the AFCON feature for the morning. Yesterday we started off by looking at all the 24 teams that are in the competition, right? All the 24 teams that are in the competition. Today, we are taking you into the grounds, the facilities, the stadia where the battles will be staged, right? Where all the teams will be playing the matches in the 2025 AFCON. So, enjoy our second meal from our AFCON menu. Today, Gary Al Smith and Aneki Amankwa are taking you on a journey into the various stadia where the AFCON matches will be played. Inside AFCON Stadia is coming up next, 8:37 on the Sporty Breakfast. Enjoy this feature. When we come back, we have a lot more for you. We'll be talking to Henry Asante Twum of the GFA. He speaks, or he's the communications director of the GFA. We'll talk all things World Cup draw, how they are getting ready, and everything in between. This is the Sporty Breakfast. Enjoy this feature put together by Gary Al Smith and Aneki Amankwa on the various grounds where the AFCON matches will be played starting this weekend. Enjoy.
I wanna feel it right inside me. Oh yeah. I wanna walk into the beat of the drum. I want my life when around me. Oh yeah. We're together
a moment before a tournament starts where nothing has happened yet, but everyone feels it. In homes, on the streets, and restaurants, people begin to talk a little differently. They argue, they laugh, they remember old matches and imagine new ones. That's where Africa Cup of Nations 2025 begins. Not with a kickoff, but with people waiting. This year, that waiting leads to Morocco. And over the next 1 month, inside these stadiums, Africa will tell itself another football story. As Africa's grandest football feast returns to Moroccan soil, the stadiums are no longer just arenas. They are living, breathing stages where history, passion, and identity will collide from 21st December 2025 to 18th January 2026. Across 6 cities and 9 modern venues, 52 matches will unfold, with each one a chapter in a continental story of pride and possibility.
At the Prince Moulay Abdallah Stadium, the new version, I might add, inaugurated, this stadium is signaling Morocco's grand ambitions of becoming a sporting powerhouse, not just in Africa, but on the world stage. It's new, it's sparkling, and it's going to be absolutely jam-packed with fans who are going to be partisan. Can they do it? We are going to get inside and enjoy the action.
Let's start from Rabat, Morocco's capital, where power meets pageantry and football takes center stage under the watchful eye of the nation's capital. Dominating the skyline, the Prince Moulay Abdallah Stadium is the flagship of AFCON 2025 with a capacity of 68,700. This newly transformed arena anchors the tournament's biggest moments. From the opening match of AFCON 2025, host Morocco and Comoros on 21st December 2025, and 2 semi-final fixtures, and the AFCON 2025 final will be played here. Rabat becomes the epicenter of African football. The stadium's design blends cutting-edge technology with subtle Moroccan architectural motifs, a statement of intent from a country positioning itself as a global sporting hub. Rabat's wide boulevards, royal landmarks, and Atlantic breeze offer fans a rare mix: calm sophistication by day, thunderous football intensity by night. Al Barid Stadium and Prince Moulay Abdallah Olympic Stadium. Just beyond the grandeur, Rabat offers intimacy where every chant, tackle, and celebration feels close enough to touch. With capacities of approximately 22,000 and 21,000, these venues host group stage encounters, providing a raw, atmospheric setting ideal for emerging stars and high-stakes qualification battles.
How did Morocco start from, we didn't used to think of Morocco in that light. We used to think of Egypt, South Africa, Rwanda, but Morocco is now a powerhouse. How did you get here?
So in a speech in the 2010 years, the king of Morocco, Mohammed VI, may God assist him, explained that he wanted that football to be a tool for social and professional inclusion of the youth and for also the women's. From this point, the Federation of Morocco, through the leadership of Mr. Fouzi Lakja, we made a strategic development plan in terms, first of all, of infrastructure. We changed the infrastructure of football for the national teams in all the cities and the clubs, training centers, regional complex, and of course the Mohammed VI complex of football. We are going to be there on Saturday. It's a massive infrastructure of football. Morocco, to organize African Cup of Nations, you need to understand that Moroccans are very excited about it. It's since I think 88 we are waiting the AFCON in Morocco. So for us, the most important right now, the next level right now, is to organize the best AFCON in the history of CAF and of the African continent. We hope that we will have
a large number of people coming to the stadiums. So if there is a South Africa versus Zimbabwe in Agadir, the stadium maybe will be full or 75% full. And this will be the big difference, we hope. And also, as you know, Morocco is the first touristic country in Africa. I think it's the second at Egypt. We have more than last year 80 million people coming. So we hope that
Morocco is number one now.
Is number one now, yes, exactly. So we hope that it will be an opportunity for all the Africans who love football to come and enjoy all together for a very, very amazing party of football.
Tangier, where Africa meets the Atlantic. Grand Stade de Tangier, also known as Ibn Battuta Stadium. From the capital, the story moves north to a city that has always looked outward, toward horizons beyond the sea. At the crossroads of Africa and Europe, the Grand Stade de Tangier, or Ibn Battuta Stadium, rises as AFCON's largest venue, holding nearly 75,600 spectators. Named after Morocco's legendary explorer, the stadium mirrors Tangier itself, bold, cosmopolitan, and unafraid of big occasions. High-profile group matches like Senegal versus Botswana, Benin versus Senegal, Senegal versus Congo, round of 16, quarter-final clash. Here, goals will be scored within sight of the Strait of Gibraltar as chants roll across continents and cultures.
Of course, it is also one of the stadiums that will not only be used for the 2025 Africa Cup of Nations later this year, but also the 2030 World Cup that Morocco, Portugal, and Spain are going to be hosting. But for the 2025 Africa Cup of Nations, it is the stadium that will host all the 3 home games for Senegal, who are the 2019 champions. It will host a round of 16 fixture. It will host a quarter-final fixture. It will also host a semi-final fixture. So those are a total of 6 games it will be hosting for the Africa Cup of Nations that is coming up later this year. Like you can see, works are still ongoing, but information we are told is that the stadium will be done by the end of September 2025. The playing surface is already done. It is hybrid. The Morocco are in a good place. It is one of the 9 facilities that is going to be used for the Africa Cup of Nations. A total of 9 venues in 5 different cities. Of course, Tangier is one of the cities. Like I did say, it will be the best for Senegal. This is where they will be basing. It will also have a running track, so it's not a facility that is only going to be hosting football games. It will also have a running track, so it can host several track and field events beyond football. And of course, like I told you, it is also one of the facilities earmarked for the 2030 World Cup.
Casablanca, the heartbeat of football culture. Stade Mohammed V in Casablanca. If Moroccan football has a pulse, it beats loudest in Casablanca. The Stade Mohammed V is sacred ground. With a capacity of 45,000, it has hosted generations of legends and unforgettable nights. Recently refurbished for AFCON 2025, it now blends its storied past with modern comfort and broadcast-ready brilliance. Key group stage fixtures, knockout stage matches that demand experience and nerve. Beyond the pitch, Casablanca surges with live Atlantic boulevards, humming markets, and a rhythm that never quite slows. It is a perfect backdrop for football that thrives on intensity.
Rabat, in Casablanca, quite a lot in Casablanca, also Marrakech, also in Tangier, in quite a number of these places, and 9 stages will be used for this tournament, so it's definitely going to be a joy for anyone coming to have a sight of all these stadiums and at least have a feel, just like you see any major country in the world. So I think the thing definitely is adventure, the oceans, the sea, the nightlife here is amazing. You know, I don't encourage those who want to do clubbing, but again, it's always a fun because when you have an AFCON that cuts across 2 holidays, January holiday and also December, surely you must prepare for some quality nightlives, beach experiences, top hotels you could talk of globally. Lovely experience, lovely experience. Honestly, you won't have a regret coming to Morocco to have a feel of all these things.
Marrakesh, Desert Majesty meets football magic. It's the Grand Stade de Marrakesh. Southward now, where the desert air cools under floodlights and football meets folklore. Framed by the Atlas Mountains and ancient souks, the Grand Stade de Marrakesh holds 45,000 fans. Its design reflects the city's global allure, dramatic, colorful, and unmistakably Moroccan. Group stage games played under the desert's night sky and some potential round of 16 encounters. Expect evenings where drums echo through palm-lined avenues and celebrations spill from the stadium gates into the historic Medina.
This is the Grand Stade de Marrakesh, the jewel in the crown of this historic city, and it will be hosting about 44 to 45,000 people. It's going to host games as varied as Egypt versus South Africa and Cameroon versus Gabon. If you want to experience the cultural heart of the Africa Cup of Nations, I do recommend the Grand Stade de Marrakesh. Let's go inside, let me show you what it looks like. It's beautiful, it's great, and it's
Agadir, Atlantic ambitions and open horizons. Where the land meets the ocean, AFCON finds its most relaxed rhythm without losing an ounce of competitive fire. The Grand Stade de Agadir, with a capacity of 45,000, brings tournament football to Morocco's southern Atlantic coast. Modern, open, and scenic, it is purpose-built for international spectacles. Sunset, beaches, and sea air define Agadir, offering fans recovery between matches and players a serene yet focused matchday environment.
My name is Mohammed from Mali. What do you think of the Agadir Stadium?
Agadir Stadium is the biggest, is big stadium. It's beautiful, and I think that it will be a good place for the team, for between many countries, because AFCON will be good here at this December. And I'm very happy to visit this because it's very beautiful.
My name is Fred Kawesi. I'm a journalist from Uganda, and I'm glad to be in Agadir.
What do you think of the stadium?
Fantastic. When we were asked to come and tour the stadium, a lot of things we had not anticipated to come and see. I think Morocco have done a commendable job to get the facility ready for AFCON 2025. The playing pitch is standard. The other facility amenities around it, the dressing rooms, the media tribune, and all the entire structure of the stadium is world class. I'm sure the fans that will come here for AFCON 2025 will find a fantastic venue. And one of the biggest games that is going to be here is South Africa against Egypt. I think those are the kind of matches that should be hosted in facilities like this.
This stadium is located at the port city of Agadir, and when you see it coming out of the distance, it looks like a wave. It looks very beautiful, very white in the brown background, but you get in, it's all green and white as well. 65,000 people can sit here. It's expected to finish by the 30th of September for the AFCON. And after the AFCON, Morocco has the World Cup as well. This stadium will also be used for the World Cup in 2030, and there will be further upgrades done to this wonderful, wonderful facility.
Fairs, ancient walls, new stadium roars is the complex Sportif de Fairs. And finally, to Fairs, where history whispers by day and roars by night. In Morocco's spiritual and cultural heartland, the Fair Stadium, with 45,000 capacity, stands a modern counterpoint to one of the world's oldest cities. Within walking distance of medieval walls and centuries-old craftsmanship, AFCON 2025 finds one of its most atmospheric settings. Group stage clashes, rich in tension and tradition. Here, football does not replace history, it joins it.
The AFCON is going to be the greatest AFCON. I mean, we've had Cameroon, we've had Cote d'Ivoire, and every time now the bar just keeps raising, and I think at the moment that's really where Morocco wants to put this AFCON, and I think it's going to be really, really tough for the next one to make it there. So Morocco has this vision, and I think it's really a great opportunity for Africa, for Africa's youth to be able to join together on a platform like this. It takes, as you know, we have so many challenges in Africa. Just to go on a mission to cover a competition, a game is a challenge. Let alone coming here together, spend a few days together, exchange ideas, and unite around a platform like this, talk about our challenges and how we can do our job better, how we can make this AFCON really the best AFCON, because we need people from the media, we need content creators, we need the fans and everybody to make this AFCON the greatest AFCON ever. And that's a challenge. And don't forget, this is just a window to the World Cup, because the World Cup is really the prize, right? So I think all this is just setting the foundation for what the World Cup will be, and telling the world that you're coming to Africa. This is the land of colors, of culture, of music, where people love just having these events, and where we really, really are welcoming of other nations. So I think this is really, really a great opportunity for all of us.
You and I are from Sub-Saharan Africa. How can our countries, that's the question I want, match up to it? Briefly.
Gary, where do we start? I mean, remember the first time we went and we looked at this beautiful technical center Morocco has, and we were all thinking, my God, if this was in our country, the budget would have been there and we'd have ended up with a small villa, right? So this is a real mentality. I think what we need now is for our leaders to look into this thing. People keep talking about Morocco and soft power. Yes, they have utilized the soft power. They have positioned themselves as leaders in many things in Africa today, but that's because there is a vision for it. So our leaders need to embrace what Morocco is doing in terms of leadership, in terms of vision. We need to build our own vision. What is it that we want our nations to be, right? So if we manage to do that, then everything else becomes a bit easier. We get the budget. Our problem is not the money, it's how we use the money. And if we can just shift a little bit and start using the money for the purpose it's meant for, we are going to transform completely this continent. And I think this is really what the youth is pushing for. When youth is pushing for leadership change, it's not because they don't like that. It's because they feel that we have so much resources, we have so much money, we have so much we can do. And then they're frustrated because we are not doing that. And they're looking at other people that are doing it with less. And this is just incredible.
From tradition to tomorrow, these stadiums are more than concrete and steel. They are statements of belief that African football deserves the grandest of stages. From the royal grandeur of Rabat to the ocean winds of Agadir, from Tanger's explorer city to Casablanca's raw intensity, AFCON 2025's venues tell a collective story of ambition and identity. These arenas will not just host the tournament, they will host history. Defining goals will be scored under lights that barely existed a decade ago. New heroes will rise before audiences that span continents. For Morocco, AFCON 2025 is more than a tournament. It is a legacy written in bricks, steel, sound, and celebration, and a promise to Africa that the theater of dreams is ready. And when it's over, the football will move on. But some moments will stay. A goal you didn't expect. A night you won't forget. A name you will always remember. That's what tournaments leave behind. You've been listening to our AFCON 2025 series from Morocco.
the sun. I wanna feel it right.
So you heard Gary Al Smith and Aneki Amankwes feature on the wonderful stadiums or the grounds, the wonderful stadia. The Americans say stadiums. The wonderful stadia, but because we are British colonized, we have to say stadia, yeah. So the beautiful stadia that will be hosting the AFCON tournament. Let me see if I can get the list of grounds that will be hosting the facilities, just to let people know what we are talking about. But if you have the chance to go to Morocco, please go and watch the AFCON. So because of that, Dunia Safari and Sporty FM are combining their powers. They are saying that they are going to Morocco. Get your squad. Ray says his squad is set, even though we are still trying to vet the squad.
Yes, it's ready.
No, that's what the squad you are proposing there is too dangerous. We will not approve. We'll have to do a few changes. Because Eustace Niakwe, because if Yaka and Raymond Yamado should not be allowed in Morocco at the same time. No way.
It's a festival. It's a festival of football.
It's a festival of football.
We want to celebrate.
Eh?
We want to go and
No way. You guys will turn it into something else.
Do you know Didi?
It become a bloodbath.
Do you know Didi?
Do I know
Didi?
Which Didi? You mean
PDD?
Those such names will not be mentioned. Now the name PDD, no. Anyway, so Junior Safari and Sporty FM say that bring your squad of minimum of 3, and then they'll give you a 20% discount only if you use the promo code SportyFan25, so you can go and watch the AFCON. So that is that in terms of the AFCON, right? So go and watch the AFCON in Morocco. As for Dunia Safari, call them on 053-808-7709, 053-808-7709. And you can send them an email, travel@duniasafari, travel@duniasafari@gmail.com. This is still the Sporty Breakfast. It's 3 minutes after 9. I said I was going to give you the various grounds where the AFCON will be played. So the Adra Stadium in Agadir holds 45,000 people. It will be used in the group stage, knockout stage, including Egypt's opening game versus Zimbabwe. So Egypt versus Zimbabwe is in Agadir. The Stade Mohammed V in Casablanca, it's one of Morocco's most iconic grounds. Also holds 45,000 people, right? And Ray, that's Raja and Widad. They share that stadium.
Fantastic.
They share that stadium. So it was renovated at a cost of 40 million euros.
Fantastic.
40 million euros, right?
That's good.
Yeah, like proper renovation. And then the stadium in Fez also hosts 45,000. It will host Nigeria versus Tunisia on the 27th of December. That's a good game.
Yeah.
And the stadium in Marrakesh, 45,240 stadium. 45,240 seater, sorry. It will host Cote d'Ivoire versus Cameroon. And Gabon versus Cote d'Ivoire. So that's that. The Tangier Grand Stadium, as I said, I was there. Wonderful place. Wonderful place. Holds 75,000 people. Also known as the Ibn Battuta Stadium. And it was renovated. It's a wonderful place. I went to see Morocco take on Mozambique there. And it will host Morocco versus Comoros in the opening game. And then the final on the 18th. Sorry, that's a different guy. So it will host Senegal versus DRC. Yes, because Senegal are in Tangier.
Yeah.
The Senegalese fans are already there. They
landed. Yeah, I've seen beautiful pictures. So Senegal Botswana will be played there.
Okay.
Senegal Botswana, Senegal DR Congo.
Okay.
Benin Senegal, and then Three knockout
games. Great. And then you have the Prince Moulay Abdallah in Rabat. It holds 68,000.
That's the one you went to, right?
I went to the Moulay Hassan.
Okay.
I went to the Moulay Hassan. That's how come we got lost. So when we entered the coordinates into the Uber app, we said we wanted to go. So I was with Poja, who's the Nigerian content creator. As soon as he saw Moulay, he just punched. And then Charlie, now I went driving, I weren't getting there. Then the Uber driver got to the place and asked the security people that, is this the Moulay Hassan? They said, no, this is the Moulay Abdallah. But bro, I'll tell you something about the neighborhood where the Moulay Abdallah is. Ray.
That is in the center of Rabat.
Yeah, it's in the center of Rabat. Lovely part of Rabat. Very nice part. And it's close. So you drive past, there's a park, a public park, all green, about 3 acres, all green, oh. And there are seats and things, and it's open. So I asked the Uber driver, like, do you pay to enter? They said, no, it's open. So you can just walk in and sit and just look at that and think and read. And read. I say, oh,
we have some here.
Where?
Before I said that.
True. Okay, true. But
what's the color of the grass?
Oh.
No, but we are not deliberate about agreeing.
We have to, you know when we talk about recreation and all, we have to be, bro. Nice, and the Moulay, like the Abdallah, nice part of Morocco. And as I said, even when you drive around Rabat, I spent a lot of time in Rabat. The facilities are there, the basketball courts, the football pitches, the volleyball courts. You go into the corners, they are all there, so children can have places to go and even run around and play. But here, no. We need to be deliberate about. You see, when we talk about creating recreation and creating a healthy state, it's not gyms and hospitals and eating well. They are important. But even when people can have a place to think, sit, enjoy nature.
Did we not hear of there was a project that we were supposed to roll out on the Kwale lab?
I remember. Oh, it hasn't happened yet.
It had some.
This is some wild plans, but it hasn't happened yet.
And then there's another one to Accra something. Oh, I forgot him, but it was also supposed to be. At that time, you see, unfortunately, this is a recreation matter we are talking about. Everybody thinks it's Keep Fit Club.
No.
Let's go for a walk. Let's go for this. That's
even walk, Ray. Even walk. If we say we want to even go on a walk in Accra. Is Accra designed for walkers? No.
Can't go fit clear you, Oh, when I'm coming to work, you're going bypass.
Oh yes, you see, you mentioned it all the time.
It's risky, because Charlie, this is the car, this is human being. You are doing your work, possibly in the opposite direction. But Charlie Nathan, it's scary, because people are doing all sorts of overtaking, selling in the morning.
So we have to do better. Anyway, so the Moulay Abdallah holds 68,000 people. It was completed this year on the site of the former stadium. And that's where Morocco typically play their national team matches. And it forms part of a wider sports complex. It's true. As you drive there, you find the old stadium. You find some other facilities. They have some Olympic facility there and all of those things. So that's the Moulay Abdallah. And then the Moulay El Hassan, that's the smallest ground, or one of the smallest grounds to host the AFCON. 22,000 people, fresh, and it was rebuilt, and it will host some group matches, including Equatorial Guinea versus Algeria, as well as a round of 16 fixture on the 9th of January. And then you have the Al Medina Stadium also in Rabat, 18,000 people. It's a lovely white diamond patterned exterior, and it's in Rabat Agdal district. And Agdal is where I stayed when I went. So you find it somewhere in there, and it will host Uganda versus Tanzania in some matches. And then the Rabat Olympic Stadium, we drove by the place as well. It was built, record time, was built in just 9 months.
Fantastic. That is
money.
That's when money is there.
Money is talking.
Money is talking.
And it will host matches such as Benin versus Botswana on the 27th of December. So these are the grounds that will be hosting the 2025 AFCON. 10 minutes after 9. This is still the Sporty Breakfast. So, as promised, we've been joined by Henry Asante Twum. Henry Asante Twum is Communications Director at the Ghana Football Association. He joins. The last time we spoke to Henry, he was in South Korea.
Yes. He was dealing with all sorts of temperatures.
Yes. But Henry is in the flesh now. He's back in town. Henry, how are you doing? Good morning.
I'm fine, Nathan. How are you? Raymond, good morning.
Morning. Good to see you.
Always a pleasure.
I see that this thing is working well.
What? Yeah? They look my forehead like motorway.
But the Turkey people come down.
What are they here for?
They are here to help us.
No, but you don't have a problem.
But you and Nathan won't book the two of you.
No, Nathan is fine.
I'm fine.
Nathan's hairstyle is deliberate.
Yeah.
Okay. Mine is
forced.
A style of no choice.
Force majeure.
Yes.
Henry,
rain or shine, I don't have a choice.
You don't have a choice. You have to keep it like that. I see. Henry, thank you so much for joining us. How was Washington? How was the World Cup draw? That day was a very interesting day. Ghanaians were eager to see where we would be placed. We finally got an interesting group. But how was everything from your perspective? How it came together, the event, the atmosphere? How was it like there, just observing proceedings, in Washington?
Okay, thank you, Nathan. I think FIFA put together a very world-class event. They found a way to put all the qualified countries at the same hotel.
Wow.
Yeah, so all of us were at the Capital Hilton Hotel in Washington. And one other beautiful thing they did was to ensure that all the teams in the playoffs also attended the draw.
Oh.
So I was on the same flight with our colleagues from Wales. Mm-hmm. I also saw the guys from DR Congo. Mm-hmm. And then the other guys from I think the Oceania, they also have one other team. Mm-hmm. That will be so we were actually on the same flight. We ended up moving together. We arrived together. We were on the same bus from the airport to the hotel. The morning of the draw was very exciting. Mm-hmm. They ensured, or they found a way to bring all of us together, mm-hmm. In the lobby. Mm-hmm. On the morning, mm-hmm. we had breakfast together. There was a lot of noise, seeing the coaches, the administrators, the team officials, and then also, of course, our colleague journalists, all together, trying to exchange ideas, cross-fertilize ideas, and then, in anticipation for what would happen later in the day. So. We stayed in the hotel lobby for about 2 hours in the morning, and then we went through a bubble, through security check. Yeah. And then they provided buses at the back of the hotel. So we all went through the various security protocols. We jumped onto the bus, and then they put us at the event center. And also at the event center, another security protocols, because the president of the Republic of the Federal Republic of America mm-hmm. was going to be in attendance. Yeah. We also had the Prime Minister of Canada, and then the President of Mexico also in attendance. So security was quite tight. Then when we arrived at the event center, I needed to go through some media engagement with the head coach. Then from there we took our wristbands. They had already given us access codes, so you have to go through that area, mm-hmm. final point of entry, and then we got to the auditorium. And I think the event was world class, organized in the American way with entertainment and football. I like the way Gianni Infantino brought on stage the three heads of states. Mm-hmm. Including Donald Trump himself, and his speech was also very good, giving assurance to the world that the United States of America would ensure that everything goes according to plan. They had put a lot of money into the competition. Investment had gone very, very high. Preparations were already underway, started 3 years ago, and then with just a few months to the tournament, they were ready to host the competition. Same for Canada, same for Mexico. But the Mexicans were actually looking forward to being the first country to host 3 different World Cup opening matches. That's historic. It's never happened before, in 74, in 86, and then they'll be doing it in 2026.
1970.
Yes, 1970, sorry, and then 1986.
And
1970, Brazil won it. 86, Argentina won it. Yes, I remember that game. I've seen excerpts of that game, Mexico versus Soviet Union, a game they won by 1-0. So yes, the Azteca Stadium is one iconic stadium in the history of world football, and they were even discussing it before the draw. So little did they know that it was going to be a repeat of the 2010 fixture between Mexico and South Africa, and it happens coincidentally on the same day, 11th June. So as the draw went by, we were looking at where we would be put, and then I saw Tunisia gone, Senegal gone, Ivory Coast gone, and then which other country? Algeria also gone, then South Africa gone. And we were left with group A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L. So Tunisia was in one group. It means we couldn't go there.
Of course, yeah.
Same for Ivory Coast. They had already gone to the Germany group, so it was impossible to see us there because we couldn't have two teams from the same confederation in the same group. So we were left with J and L. And once the 4th team was chosen for J,
we just
we
knew that we were going to
Group L. And already at that time we had England there, we had Croatia there, and then Panama was also there. So we moved to the 3rd spot, in that group. Very interesting group. A group with 2 European powerhouses. Croatia have been very consistent in recent years. Had a smooth World Cup qualifiers in Europe. England have also been dominant, at least in the last World Cup competitions, as well as the last 2 European Championships. So they are also very, very strong. England are not strong by accident. They are strong because they worked for it. They invested a lot in their football, and they've got a mix of young players and then some players who have been there for quite some time, have garnered experience over the period. And Panama were also a rising force, making it to yet another FIFA World Cup. And even though we were lowly ranked in the group, we think that we bring a lot of competition to that group. It gives the group different dynamism. And I was with Thomas Tuchel after the draw when he was granting interviews, and he kept mentioning, talking about the threat of Semenyo, Kudus, the other players in the Premiership. Also threw more light on the fact that recently we lost 2 players to the Championship in Jordan and Ishao Kufatao. He knows the Ghanaian players very well because he's been working in England for quite some time, coached Chelsea before he took the reins at the national team. For Croatia, they think that meeting an African team is a lot of headache. Especially because we have become very unpredictable in recent times, so it's difficult to plan. But they also have what it takes. Now, one interesting thing is that I was there when the Croatian coach came to me and asked for Sabojan. Apparently, they worked together at Al Ain.
Okay, Zlatko Dalic, yes,
some years ago. So he knows Jan very, very well. And then Panama. They may not be a powerful name or household name in world football, but I think they are doing something right. They are also a side that is difficult to predict what they bring to the table. A mix of players who are relatively unknown and then some who are also rising very fast, but they have a very good coach, and Otto knows the coach very well. They worked in Germany together, they know each other, they hugged each other after the draw when we were in the media zone, and they had quite a lengthy conversation. So this is where we are. Preparations are already underway. We've already announced one friendly game that will be played on March 30. Yesterday we were still talking to some of the countries to see if we could have one more before the Germany game. It's possible we'll play a friendly before the Germany game. We want to play 2 friendlies in the March window.
Okay.
And then in the late May, June window, we'll play at least 2 more friendlies before we zoom into the tournament proper. So yes, preparation is underway. There will be series of workshops, seminars, training programs, and what have you in March, and then also late May, and then there will be other visits to the United States to prepare the grounds for the arrival of the team. Already FIFA has given us the options to choose with regards to team hotel, training facilities, and other things that we would need. They have also given us all the logistical demands, and then the final squads will be announced on June 1.
Okay, so June 1 is when everybody has to present the final squad. I saw a quote attributed to you. I just wanted to confirm whether you did say that concerning squad caps or squad limits.
Yeah.
What's the number? 23, 26, 28?
We are permitted to send 26, but you are allowed to send less than 26.
Okay, so 26 is the maximum.
Yes.
You can't go above it, but you can mention a squad.
23 to 26.
Great. You mentioned logistics and all of that. For a World Cup, just for clarity, or somebody who may not understand, who shoulders the burden of the logistics? Is it big? Is it FIFA's? Does FIFA
all the
take care
training facilities have logistics?
Okay, so I'm talking
but
about.
you are allowed to also bring in your own logistics.
Okay.
If it is that you have specifics that you want to bring in, but you need clearance from FIFA.
Okay.
So let's say after our inspection, if we think that the equipment there is woefully inadequate and we want to send in more equipment, we must make an official request to FIFA. FIFA will also ask us for photographs and other details or information regarding those logistics.
Yeah.
They will seek clearance from the immigration or the national authorities in the country of host, because we will be in Canada and USA. So then they will seek special permission from authorities in Toronto and then authorities in Boston and Philadelphia, so we'll be able to be grant full approval for us to send in those logistics.
Wonderful. So prepping for a World Cup, I'm assuming, starts the moment you know your group stage and where you are playing.
The very moment.
Then you start prepping.
So we've been working very hard. I returned on Saturday. I left the president in America. I came back with Alex Asante, and we've been working very, very hard. It's a lot of work. Less sleep, more work. You have one of the things FIFA is trying to do is that they want to ensure that teams do not travel for more than 3 hours. So the distance between the states and the match venues, they just want to make sure that you do not travel more than beyond 3 hours. And then
I noticed the location of all of this: Boston, Philly, and then Toronto. You notice that they are not,
because even when you are traveling from USA to Toronto, it's about 1 hour 20 minutes or 30 minutes or so. Yes, and they are doing same for all the other host countries, and also because the 3 countries are widely spread out. One decision that the strategic committee in charge of this World Cup also took was that it's the first World Cup with 48 teams, and so every team would have at least 3 days of rest in between matches. So we realize that our first game is on the 19th, second game 24th, third game 27th. So you have at least 3 days of rest to allow the players to recover and then also be in a sound mind and good mood to play, because they are coming off a very busy football season in their respective place of stay. So these are some of the basic decisions that FIFA has taken. Another thing they also did was that they decided to put games at kickoff times where the countries that are playing would have their supporters at home, back home. Would have the opportunity to watch the games during peak times. So there are midnight kickoffs. For instance, Scotland, one of their games is at midnight.
Midnight in Scotland.
No, midnight in America.
Midnight in America.
Which is peak time in Scotland. Evening time in Scotland. And it came under scrutiny the day after the draw when they were meeting us to review the match schedules. But Gianni Infantino explained that it is for a strategic reason. The reason is that they do not want maybe Ghanaian fans to wake up at 1 a.m. watching Ghana matches. They want Ghanaian fans to stay at 9 p.m. or 6 p.m. or 7 p.m., which makes a lot of sense.
Of course.
So in America, it will be during odd hours. But back home in Ghana, it will be at a very good time for all of us to watch, just to increase the eyeballs and then also patronage.
I see. So meaning that 9 p.m. in Ghana, on the east coast of the US will be about 4 p.m., maybe 3 p.m. possibly. I see. Interesting idea that FIFA has shared. Ray, I'm sure you have a question or two.
I want to talk about let's deal with tickets. Yesterday, FIFA announced plans for loyal fans to get a bit of some cash relief in terms of the ticket cost. What's the plan with the FA with regard to the eligibility criteria for those who would qualify for that, and how that whole plan will be rolled out?
Okay, so in terms of ticketing, they came up with 3 different procedures. There was pre-draw ticket sales. As at the time we were going for the draw, over 2 million tickets had been sold. That was pre-draw. And then immediately after the draw, they also open up for interested supporters to now patronize, because now we know the fixtures anyway, we know the dates, we know the kickoff times. And until yesterday, over 200 million requests had been made. Now, the request does not mean that you have bought the ticket, but you have expressed interest in buying tickets for Ghana and you want to sit in zone A or zone B or zone C. Then they will sit down and look at it holistically. Now confirm your booking or your request so you can pay. Then the issue about cost came up, and it wasn't peculiar to Ghana, it was a worldwide thing. So yesterday, the council, they've been in Doha for the past 3 days. The council decided that they want to reward loyal fans, and specifically countries that have qualified for the World Cup. So this price reduction is for only qualified countries.
Okay.
Yes, that's what they call PMAs, participating member associations. So every participating member association will be given a special access. So now the GFA is currently going through processes of securing tickets for loyal Ghanaian fans. Once we complete the process, we will buy the ticket in advance and pay FIFA. So let's say we finish the process and we make a request of 60,000 tickets for all our 3 matches. FIFA will now require that we pay for those tickets because they wouldn't want the tickets to go waste. It's possible the FA will say, okay, give me 60,000 tickets for Ghanaian fans, but Ghanaian fans may not be up to 60,000. So they want it to be your responsibility to sell those tickets rather than leaving it open. So we began that process on Monday. Today is Wednesday. We began that process on Monday. I'm sure we'll finalize everything by close of this week. Once we are through with that arrangement, we will publish on our various platforms for interested Ghanaian fans to now access the ticket through the FA.
Okay.
Yes, through the FA. We would then have already secured the tickets from FIFA. So there will be an access code, blah, 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 personal details, mode of payment, and all those things. And when you go through the process, you tell us which games you are looking for. You want 5 tickets for England, 2 tickets for Panama, 1 ticket for Croatia. Then you can pay. And we will either give you the electronic access, or if you can come to the FA, you get the physical ticket. So that is also an arrangement we are currently embarking upon. And is it $64 or $65? $60.
Yes, so that's
it's a big relief. Yeah, it's a big relief. Yesterday when I saw the email, I said, oh, so they listened, and they've actually acted on it appropriately. It's good news for our fans.
So help me understand this. I mean, if the FA is supposed to buy the tickets, what numbers would they be working with? How do they arrive at the number of people who would need tickets? How do they arrive at
especially
that?
If you are committing money in advance.
There is always a threshold and a quota by FIFA, so you negotiate between that, because they want England fans to have access, they want Ghanaian fans to have access, and they want neutrals to have access. So there is that allocation. So maybe if it is a 20,000, let's say a 20,000 capacity, FIFA can say 6,000 to England, 6,000 to Ghana, that is 12,000, and then the rest for neutrals and VIPs and other dignitaries. So that's what they do, and they do it for all the matches, having in mind the capacity of all the stadia hosting the World Cup.
Now, based on conversations you've had behind the scenes, how easy or difficult would it be for fans to travel to Canada and USA for this World Cup?
Okay, Raymond, I think it's a very important area. I've been in meetings with the 3 embassies, at least 4 meetings with the 3 embassies. Until the draw, Mexico were also very hopeful of getting Ghana in Mexico, but today we know where we are going. We know we are playing in Toronto, we are playing in Philadelphia, in Boston, and so we'll be in Canada and the USA. So it's now the responsibility of the American embassy and the Canadian embassy to ensure that as many Ghanaians as possible would have access to those 2 countries. The first mode of requirement is your ticket. Your plane ticket doesn't matter. Your accommodation doesn't matter. Your how do you call it, credit on your whatever,
Your
credit card or bank statement doesn't matter.
You need to have a match ticket.
The first thing you need is, as we speak, let's say you show up at the Canadian embassy and you want to go to the World Cup, they would ask you, where is your ticket for Panama versus Ghana?
Okay,
that's requirement number 1, even before accommodation and internal rounds and cash in your pocket and other things come in.
Just to pause on that, the ticket. So if I buy a ticket, is it personalized? Do I have my name on it? I ask because people can try to bend or try and hack the system. So it's personalized. So I have my name.
It has
on
a special code.
Okay.
Yes, it has a special code, so,
which I can pass.
But you cannot. But you can buy 4, or you can buy 5, or you can buy 6. So you cannot have all the other people you are buying for. But you, being the one purchasing the ticket, your details will be in the system.
Okay, fair.
So, but you are indicating that I am buying 6 tickets, and those special codes come to you. Yes, it doesn't mean you cannot pass it on, but if there is any problem whatsoever, you will be the tracking point, because you purchased the ticket on behalf of those people. Let me just chip in this. In Qatar, for instance, the day we played Portugal, some people were arrested because they were doing ticket sales inside the stadium.
Wow.
And they were caught on camera and they were apprehended. So I think that as part of the build-up, we have to intensify some of these things, this education for Ghanaian fans to know that it is not allowed to trade in the stadium. It's not allowed to trade anywhere around the stadium, especially match tickets. If you want to trade match tickets or go into any business with match tickets, do it in your hotel or do it on the streets, do it in the nightclub or the restaurant. nowhere around the stadium, because you will be arrested, and if care is not taken, you go to jail, because FIFA frowns on duplications and how do you call it? ticket racketeering. Yes, if I can put it that way, ticket racketeering, especially in the lead up to a game, 1 hour, 2 hours. They think you are taking advantage of vulnerable people, and then they also suspect that you are selling it at a higher rate, and so they've got a task force who are responsible. They go around the stadium checking. You see a car going around the stadium, you don't know what their responsibilities are, but before you realize there is a camera on you and they get information that is what you are doing, immediately they will come for you. So I think we need to intensify this education. It's extremely important. You can sell anything. You can sell your replica jersey or your Ghana flag or your wristbands, anything, but not ticket. It's extremely important.
Interesting.
No, so we're still on the visa application.
Yes.
So first tickets.
Match tickets. Okay.
So match tickets. So today I want to visit America, and the reason is because I want to be part of the World Cup. So it means you must show proof of ticket for England, Ghana, and Croatia, Ghana. Number one. Now, once you show proof of these two tickets for these two games, your application will be prioritized, because FIFA has gone into agreement with these countries to ensure that ticket holders or ticket bearers have their visa applications prioritized or fast-tracked. So the American embassy may not have dates for interviews, but as soon as you go into their system and then you want to have interview dates, and you can prove to the embassy that you have purchased tickets for England, Ghana, Croatia, Ghana, for which reason you are looking for an interview opportunity, they have to prioritize your application and give you a date for you to show up for your interview for the visa, and that is requirement number one. The other things are peripherals. The other things we already know that you can't just wake up and go to Abuchi. You need to have a place of stay. You need to have money in your pocket. You need to have return air ticket. You need to have a passport. You need to have, if you are married and you are going with your wife, you need to show proof of marriage and all of that. So those are peripherals. But the number one priority is a certified FIFA match ticket.
Now, for some of us, myself, Nathan, Imota, Fly, Senna, who would possibly have our own way of taking care of ourselves if we travel to the World Cup, the supporter groups, the supporters.
The embassy doesn't know about
no. So the supporters groups, how are they going to be taken care of in terms of, right from visa acquisition to ticket acquisition to lodging and all the flights involving all the flights you would have to take to go and support the stars? What's the plan for that group?
Well,
that bigger group.
Honestly, we haven't. Okay, so since I came to the FA, we've had only one World Cup. 3 years ago, or say 4 years ago in Qatar, we were not 100% involved in supporter group traveling to the World Cup. I think it's normally a government business. Government of the day handle those things. I know that the foreign minister is working very hard with the acting high commissioner. They've had meetings. He's met them at least twice. He's also met the Canadian ambassador. There have been series of interdiplomatic meetings between Ghana and these missions, and I think such discussions have come up. As we speak, nobody can tell the position of government regarding transport of supporter groups to the World Cup. So it is quite a delicate area that needs special attention. Once a decision is taken and the FA's assistance or view is sought in that regard, maybe we will also make further consultations and advice so that we all come clean, in that area.
What about media? Is the FA providing any assistance, support in that regard? I ask because the conversation around is, you speak to some journalists, some people argue that
it's a very important.
Yeah, some people argue. Yeah, some people argue that who goes is determined by the FA. Some people say no, I can apply, get FIFA accreditation and go. Henry, you've worked in this process before. Usually, how does it play out for journalists who want to go and cover the World Cup?
So there are three different categories of journalists when it comes to the World Cup. We have the FIFA World Cup broadcast right holders. We have the FIFA World Cup non-broadcast right holders. And then written press and photographers are also in one bracket.
Okay.
So three.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, we are all journalists and we are all, information or news carriers, but we are categorized differently.
Yeah.
So the first one, which is the FIFA World Cup broadcast right holders, are those who are of major priority, who are of major significance to FIFA, because they bring the information to the doorstep of you and I.
Okay.
We get to watch the games on TV, we get to hear about it on radio, we get to hear about it on social media, other platforms, because of the broadcast right holders.
Okay.
And they are different in each country. They are dealt with differently depending on your geographical location and what you bring to the table. So let's say Sporty FM is a FIFA World Cup broadcast right holder, or maybe the Sporty Group. So Nathan, Raymond, Immortal, Abigail, the gentlemen in your production room, your social media team will be dealt with differently. They will be dealt with as broadcast right holders. So when you present your list of journalists covering the tournament, and there are 200, it's possible all of them will be granted accreditation because you are a broadcast right holder.
Okay.
You are a priority to FIFA. The accreditation that you have is different from the non-broadcast right holder. Access zones for the broadcast right holder is completely different from the non-broadcast right holder. For instance, the broadcast right holder has access to zone 1, which is the pitch, zone 2, dressing room, zone 3, mixed zone, and media areas, other areas, because you are carrying out a special duty or function. So you need access to all these areas. Now the non-broadcast right holder, which is maybe a radio station in my village, Esuboy, they don't have the right to broadcast any of the games, but they can work around the tournament to bring information to their consumers or listeners or whatever. They also have a channel to make their application. As we speak, no TV station or radio station in Ghana has announced that they have secured the rights for the World Cup. So let's say all of us are non-broadcast right holders.
As things stand.
Yes. If we wake up tomorrow and Sporty has secured the rights, you will be treated differently. Yes, that will be different. So as things stand, all of us are non-broadcast right holders.
Okay.
Your channel of securing accreditation is different. Even the color of your accreditation is different. Access zones is different. There are things you can't do. There are images you can't post. Your social media pages will easily be disabled if you post certain videos. So as soon as you secure the rights, it comes with those limitations or restrictions or guidelines. Even the PMA, the Participating Member Association, there are certain videos you can post. There are certain areas you cannot access, especially match day -1. Match day -1 is the cocoa period for FIFA. They do a whole lot with the match day -1 activities, which is why it is compulsory for the coach to speak. Which is why now, based on the initial conversations we have had, they even want the training grounds to be accessed by as many media men as possible. Now they are telling us to make at least 4 players available on match day -1.
For interviews, for media obligations.
Now they are telling us that only the head coach will go for the pre-match, but when the media come to the training grounds for the match day -1 training, we must make 4 players available for 5 minutes, 5 minutes, 5 minutes, 5 minutes, and then they are gone to different media, because now not mostly some speak Portuguese, German, Spanish, French. So depending on which media houses or broadcast holders are available at your training ground match day -1, ensure that players speak to them at all costs. Again, now they want to tell us, they are telling us that is a proposal we haven't finalized, but is a key thing that was discussed during the media and marketing workshop. They are also telling us that in the course of the week, after you have played your first match, during that 3-day grace period, ensure that every day, during that 3-day period, every day within that interval, days within that interval, you make players speak to the press. So now they are opening access. But FIFA says, do it, but we will not control it. We want to see it. We want to ensure that you are doing it. You can do it at your own,
but
convenient
those
time.
interviews must
but
happen.
we must see it.
Okay.
We want to see it. My colleagues from England kicked against it. The guys from Germany, Croatia, all the top nations, because they are saying that if you are asking me to bring 26 players to a tournament and every day, every training ground, 3 of them or 4 of them must speak, it means that by the time we finish the tournament, if I am in the final, it means I will be recycling the players. And there are some players who naturally do not know how to speak. So you are now going to compel every player to speak. It was debated for close to 2 hours in the workshop. So the in the end, FIFA's decision is that okay, it's just a proposal, it's the first workshop. We'll be back in March. Once we come in March, we will debate again and conclude. So after March, we will all be on the same page. We know what our responsibilities are as PMAs, and then FIFA's marketing team will also be, and media operations team will also be expecting us to do exactly that. Now, so I've spoken about 2 accreditations.
Yes.
Okay.
Right
holders and non-right holders. The third one is print media, online journalists, and photographers. Print media, online journalists, and photographers is not controlled by FIFA. It's controlled by the PMS.
Okay. Print media,
online and photographers.
Okay.
It's not controlled by FIFA. You go through the FIFA route, like broadcast right holder and non-broadcast right holder.
So non-broadcast right holders will likely include radio,
radio, yes, us, like our platform. If we are non-broadcast right holders, we are on the FIFA media channel, and we want to apply for accreditation. You go through that route. Broadcast right holders is completely different. As soon as you secure the rights, the lead will now present the list to FIFA that these are my team of members who will be covering the tournament. Please provide accreditation for them.
Okay.
So they send you the lead. Say Nathan is the lead. Nathan is representing Sporty Group. So Nathan says, FIFA, this is my team of journalists, social media guys, photographers, blah blah blah, covering the 2026 World Cup. They need accreditation.
So that group will then contain, it could be a mix of different people, radio,
but they are all classified under your umbrella. Everything.
We get
you get all of that because you are a broadcast right holder.
Okay, that's understandable.
Yes. So you send the list, photos, passport copies, everything to FIFA. When they arrive in America, they go to the accreditation center and they take the accreditation straight. But it is also part of the processes of securing visas for these journalists, so they can take the soft copy to the embassy just to prove that they have been accredited for the World Cup. So that is broadcast and then non-broadcast.
And then
now the third category is online written press and then photographers. That comes to the FA. So as I sit here, it's possible that I will open my email and FIFA has sent me an email that you have 50 slots, you have 20 slots specifically for written press and photographers. Now it is they qualify. So now it is the responsibility of the FA to ensure that people who fall within this category or area of specialty are given access codes to access the accreditation, send their details to FIFA for FIFA to accredit them. It is one thing that I hammered on during the workshop in Washington. 4 years ago or 3 years ago, we were given only 10 slots. Only 10. And I felt it was woefully inadequate because in our situation, we do not have the economic muscle to have as many broadcast right holders as possible. So normally, the broadcast right holders assist other journalists from the other media houses to secure accreditation. When I was at GBC, I assisted a lot of colleagues through that route. I just went to my boss, George Lomote, and said, boss, let's help them. Because without that, they can't go to the World Cup. 2006, 2010, 2014, I helped a number of colleagues.
Okay.
So we submit their details as though they are working with GBC, just to so they are part of the list. So I argued and said, if you are giving me a PMA that has qualified for the World Cup, 10 slots, then you are shortchanging me. Then it means that you are limiting my wings, because I do not have enough. I do not have enough media to propagate my agenda. And also, one thing that hurt was that some other countries in Africa who did not make it to the last World Cup in Qatar even had more numbers than us. I won't mention the country, but they had 50.
I think I know the country.
They had 50. We had 10. And it was very, very unfortunate. But their defense was that, oh, your journalists, when they go to tournament, immediately after Ghana exit, they are out of the country. Oh, your journalists, when they come to tournament, we don't feel their presence because the stories they do are not, heavy enough to gain the needed traction we are looking for. So these are the concerns that also came up. So maybe from my part, we now have to look into how to be more impactful in FIFA organized competitions. Another thing, your journalists, they don't attend tournaments. They only come when Ghana is playing in the tournament. You get me? So for instance, the recent FIFA Under 17 World Cup, I didn't see any Ghanaian journalists there.
Kelvin was there.
Kelvin was there. Kelvin was not there to cover the tournament. He was there on a different mission.
Oh, he was there to cover the
No.
Kelvin was there to cover
but imagine the whole Ghana, only one person, Kelvin.
But the point is that, Henry, I understand you, but
these are the concerns they raised. But I also had to defend my people and say, okay, so what would be my interest to cover a tournament without Ghana?
Yes. So a lot of media houses.
What would be the interest of my company to pay so much money for me to travel that distance, pocket money, accommodation, feeding, internal rounds, and all of that when Ghana is not there? What would be the interest of corporate Ghana to sponsor me to such a place? So that was the defense that I also put up. But at the end of the day, we are looking for more numbers. I pray they give us more numbers. So 10, if it is that we get more, hallelujah. But I don't think it will be anything less, because we are making it back to back, for the first time since 06, 010, and then 2014, because we missed 018. Maybe I also felt that because we missed 2018, it affected our numbers in 2022. But now that we are making it back to back, it should reflect positively on the numbers that we get for the tournament. So those are the 3 key accreditation areas for us.
Then
I don't know where you fall.
We'll be knocking on your doors for the 3rd category.
You see, okay, so unfortunately, Raymond may not qualify.
Why?
And Nathan may not qualify. Okay, so the reason is that when I give you access code, you must input your company details.
Yeah.
And your personal details. And as soon as your company details interfere with a radio station or a TV station, you are classified as a non-broadcast holder.
Okay.
So you cannot use that route.
Okay.
So you should be a proper written press. Graphic, Ghanaian Times, maybe this online. Proper written press.
So that category is reserved.
Yes.
And then all others can apply through
the broadcast and non-broadcast right holder route. Yes.
Now, still on fan travel, because as Immortal will say, this is a very important World Cup for Ghanaians.
Important World Cup. Yes, not for Croats or the English.
No. Immortal says that in 5 years' time we'll see the results.
Oh, really?
Whatever he means.
Whatever he means by that.
Shebrace is up for World Cup.
Now, somewhere in November,
the
GFA and NLA rolled out a bonanza.
That's the World Cup bonanza, yes,
in partnership with Rambel.
Yeah.
How far have you gone with that, Raphael? And how come we haven't heard so much about that, Raphael, ever since the launch? We've not heard.
Okay, we were supposed to have 5 different draws.
Okay.
At different time zones, or different time intervals.
Okay.
The last draw is on the 6th. It coincides with our Independence Day celebration, 6th March.
Okay.
As we speak, 2 draws have already been held. Yes, 2 draws. The NLA conducts draws normally on Sundays. And these events are on UTV and 1 other platforms.
There's the World Cup bonanza draw.
Yes.
Wow. Nathan, have you seen it?
No, I need to be on the
it's not the normal NLA product.
It's not okay.
It's not the normal NLA product. Okay. So it's not like the Saturday loto dinu kra because me nimcha. It's not like a normal NLA product where it is being done. It's been in existence for 50, 60, 70 years.
Mm-hmm.
That you can track. But this is just a program for a very short period of time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so those who are selected by the 6th, where the last draw will be held, they will all be put together. Like, I think they said they were taking how many people?
220.
220.
Lucky 220.
Yes. So all those 220 people will be brought together,
Mm-hmm.
and then NLA, GFA, and Rambel will begin the process of assisting them to secure visas. By that time, they might have had access to tickets for all of them, because that is a prerequisite. You need access for tickets, so you must secure tickets for all the 220. You must secure accommodation for all the 220. You must secure transport arrangement, air tickets, and then all those things for all the 220, and present them at the embassy for visa. Now, if it is that any of them does not secure the visa, the person reserves the right to pass it on.
Okay.
So Raymond won the raffle, but Raymond went to the embassy. He couldn't secure the visa because of reason 1 or 2. Raymond reserves the right to pass on his slot to Nathan.
Okay.
Then we will try again for Nathan.
Okay.
To secure a visa for Nathan.
Right.
If Nathan succeeds, voila. If Nathan doesn't succeed, and we still have time to go, because we don't control the number of days it takes for an embassy to issue a visa, and we still have time. Let's say we are in April, and the second attempt also fails to materialize, and we still have time to go for the tournament. We will try again. Then okay, you and Nathan will say, okay, we were not successful. Give it to my daughter for my daughter to go, and we will try until such a time that all the processes have been exhausted and it cannot happen again.
Okay, you know, my concern is that for an initiative like this, where you have lots of Ghanaians wanting to go to Canada, USA, and Mexico,
why you mentioned
the PR around it hasn't been massive. So there are draws. Honestly, I've not seen any draw. I don't even know how to play to enter the draw. In fact, at the launch, we saw lots of influencers. I've not seen a single influencer even promote the Lucky 220.
Okay.
The World Cup bonanza. Like, it's almost as if there's something that's supposed to send fans to the World Cup.
Yeah.
But nobody seems to know about it. There's no light on we've not shown light on this particular initiative. Why so?
Well,
maybe you'd have to help us. Maybe you'd have to help us.
It's not an FA product 100%. It's a product that belongs to 3 different entities. So maybe the NLA. I keep forgetting the name.
NLA boss.
No. Not the boss. The other company.
Rambel,
yes. Yeah.
And the FA need to team up. This is a major concern. It's a very good feedback. After the show, I will bring it to their attention. But we facilitated it because we are the career of football, or we are the managers of football. We have to look at it again and look at the PR aspect and see how impactful it is, and the message, whether the message is, making inroads and going down to the ordinary folk for them to patronize the product. If that is not happening, then it means something is amiss, and we need to take a look at it again. So thanks for this feedback. I will take it to the two entities for us to have a look at the strategy again.
I think that's fine. But my final question. I'm sure you saw Callum Hudson-Odoi over the weekend.
What is this?
I
Nathan.
always watch it.
Yes, and Neil Ante van der Poel has made a very strong suggestion. He says, look, we need Hudson-Odoi in Ketia because of England. So we have 3 games, yes, but
England is not the only country who play.
No, we have 3 games, but he makes the point. Nathan, give me the headline again. He makes the point that
I've listened to him.
Because of England,
I heard him.
I mean, it's even important to have.
He said psychologically,
exactly.
He faces them every weekend in the English.
Have there been talks about getting these players to switch nationality to play for Ghana?
Which players?
Nketiah and Callum Hudson-Odoi.
Why them?
No, so these are the 2 that come to mind immediately.
For you?
For me. So are there talks to have these 2 players switch nationality?
I think when we approached Jiku in 2020, we didn't announce until the process was done. When we approached Daniel Kofi, same. We approached.
But when you approach Atakon, we heard of it.
No, you didn't hear of it. you knew about it because of the challenges we had with FIFA, because the process delayed and it took quite a while.
Talking about that, is that process done?
I think he should be fine. Yeah, I think he should be fine. The FIFA regulation is explicit. The responsibility is on the MA to ensure that the player is from that country. You know, Nigeria have lodged a protest.
Yes, I was about to say that we don't want any Nigeria DRC
situation. And come to think of it, is the very reason why we did not play him against Chad and Mali. We did not want to take any risk, because in the heat of the moment, once you take a risk, win the game, and your opponent
files a protest,
it could jeopardize everything you have done, in the entire qualification period. So we decided to just withdraw him and rather complete the process well, hear from FIFA, know that everything is done, then he can play. And this FA, not this FA as in this administration, but this FA as in the FA that has been in existence over the years, in the last 60 plus years, we've been switching nationalities a lot, from Charles Whittle to Tony Bafu to all of them. We've done quite a lot. So yes, we know the process. So just to answer your question, Raymond, I will say that whoever is playing well and has the quality, capacity, and competence to represent the nation deserve a place, in the Black Stars. Every Ghanaian. Once you are a Ghanaian and you are playing well, you have the quality, and you have what it takes to improve the team, you can be scouted and added to the team. But as I sit here, I don't call the shots when it comes to who plays and who doesn't play.
Okay.
I'm not part of the decision-making process. The best you can do, for instance, the first time I saw Semenyo at Bristol City, I was talking to the vice president, when we returned from Mali after the botched AFCON tournament. I was talking to the vice president, Mr. Makado. He was then the vice chairman of the chairman of the Black Stars Management Committee. We spoke, and then he said, "Have you seen this player?" And I said, "No." So he gave me the lead. Then I did my own research, spoke to some colleagues in England, got information about Antoine. They sent some videos. We saw some videos on YouTube as well. We contacted his club. They granted us access to speak to the player. We contacted his parents. The player said he is ready. He's willing to come and play for us. So we went through the process and we got him.
Okay.
So it's like that with every player who is of Ghanaian descent, who has the quality to improve our team. So I do not want to narrow it down or zero in on the 2 players.
Okay.
But it goes beyond just the 2 players.
But do these players fall in the pool you are looking at the moment?
I don't know, because I am not on the technical team. No. I'm not among the coaching staff.
No, but this goes beyond the World Cup.
Yeah. It's a project.
It goes beyond it. It's a project. So
I can say that the only thing I can say is that we have approached the two players before.
Mm-hmm.
We have approached them before.
Okay, you've approached them before.
Or we approached them in the past.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And I was part of the process because I am always with Otto having discussions and what have you. When decisions of this nature or issues of this nature comes up, he brings me in because I need to have a full understanding of what is happening and the processes and all of that. Okay. So I'll be able to appreciate the issue and speak to the issue well. But as we speak, he hasn't had that discussion with me, and I don't know his position on these two players. And also at the administrative side, I haven't had that discussion with the president, the vice, or Black Stars management committee. So I am unable to delve deeper.
Okay.
Even though I can confirm that years ago we contacted them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, my final question.
You said that previously.
Oh no.
he has the final.
Now, there are still a few issues with the team.
Yeah.
Laterals, fullbacks, and all.
Yeah.
What's the plan? What's the plan of the coach to properly deal with the problems we have on our, right back and left back in defense? All of those positions, and even in the center of the pitch.
Yeah.
Has the coach discussed any plans of bolstering the squad with some players maybe we don't know?
Yeah.
Maybe from the local scene, or players, maybe we call it certain players who have been in the team for some in the past. What's the plan to deal with those problematic areas?
I think we, just as you've noticed that there are issues, we are also very much aware. And so you realize that in recent times he's handed call-ups to a number of defenders. It is an area that is of great concern to all of us, which is why Derrick Cohn was brought in. Which is why the young boy at Nice, Kojo Pepra was brought in. Which is why the gentleman at FC Basel, what's the name? Jonas Ajete was brought in. Clearly, that should tell you or confirm the notion that the technical team is aware that we've got issues, especially when Jiku is unavailable, maybe when Salisu is not unavailable. At this point, based on consistency and results, they've been our best pair in the heart of defense. But whenever one is not available, we are always in trouble. Unfortunately, the national team, you do not have the luxury of training sessions, games every weekend, so you are unable to test until you get things done. Maximum number of games outside qualifiers is maybe 4. In recent times, because of fixture congestion, we play more games, but it is an area that is of significance and importance to us, and we want to improve. I have been talking to some of the senior players. Some of the senior players that I have a good rapport and relationship with. They talk about it. They discuss it. It's of great concern. The other day I was talking to the captain and he said, "Charlie, hurry. My only problem is if we fix the defense, Charlie, nobody go beat us." So it tells you that he's also concerned about. Yeah. That particular area where sometimes injuries take out our best players, but we have to find means to get other alternatives who are quality enough to step in when our first choice or our main options are unavailable. So Raymond, yes, we are working a lot. I don't know where those materials will come from. If it comes from the local league, voila. And speaking of this same issue, Kamaradini Mamadou, the Midiama right back. He had a long shot with the national team. Long shot until we played Nigeria in the Unity Cup. Where you were there with us. He didn't have too good a game, so after the first half he was withdrawn. But he has had a long shot with the team. It is for the same reason why last year there is this young boy at Samatex, left back, Isaac Afo.
Yeah.
Yes, he was also given a long shot, because every time you want to try maintain a certain core, players in the team and see how they will adapt and fine tune themselves to adjust to the system. But after 1 or 2 games, when you are still not convinced, you do not have the time. So maybe you will be forced to change. Maybe you're forced to bring in another player. That is the difficulty with national teams. But we've had a number of players who have come in and out of the team because of this particular reason. And I just want to hope that in March, when we play the 2 games, and then later in late May and June when we play another 2 games, we will be able to fix this problem. And I don't care where the player comes from, provided the player has the quality to improve the team, we should be fine.
Anyway,
Nathan,
we'll pause on that.
But I'm very interested in the lucky 220.
Yeah.
I will pass on your your
please let them know, and so that it's more public, so people can know. Because you see, and Henry, you know this as well as I do. Once people don't know, and at the end we say, these people,
it's like
they start to speculate.
It's like the first day you met your wife.
Yes.
if you were sitting in the dark with her and then you were winking.
Of course, no. She has to see my face.
She must look into your eyes and say, I feel the connection, you know.
And you know, because you have 2 brands of national nature on it.
Yeah,
of course.
Whatever happens,
the FA and the NLA,
it will come back to you. Because nobody knows
Ramble, yes.
But we know NLA, we know GF.
They know the GF.
So you should be very concerned.
People start to speculate and all kinds of stories get out of hand.
All right.
But anyway, Henry, thank you so much for your time. You've been gracious with your time.
I left my bed early today.
Oh yes.
we do appreciate it. We do appreciate it.
Immortal after the show, we'll make sure you are taken care of up there.
Where is that?
Up there.
Oh, there is up there.
Yeah, up there. You see, when you drive up there, you see there's a big house there.
Okay.
We'll do that.
So we'll go past the traffic light?
Yeah, the traffic
light.
Yes,
after the traffic light.
Oh, okay.
Immortal, make sure everything is
I will be on standby.
Yes. Henry, thank you so much. The final thing, though, we would ask is that we would love, when is Otto available, or he's gone away?
He's not in town.
Okay, whenever it is he comes out, we would love to sit and have a chat with Otto. I just want to.
I want the FA president.
No problem. I mean, that's fine. We can get that.
It's
Otto I want to have a chat with. I just want to ask him a couple of questions concerning the World Cup qualifying run.
Okay.
I'd want to ask him a few specific things.
I want the president.
No problem.
The FA president.
When he comes, I'm trying to arrange another series of engagement with him locally.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to do one outside and then here in Ghana. Recently we did one after the qualifiers. I think it went well. I like the feedback. I would like to do one more. Hopefully, maybe after the Christmas break when he comes back, we'll look into it. And once I fix the date, I'll get you informed.
Wonderful.
But we want the FA president too.
Yes, we want.
Unfortunately, I am not 100% in control because he travels a lot these days. We went to the States. He's now in Qatar.
Yeah.
He will come back to Morocco for AFCON. And I don't know where he's.
But we're ready to meet him anyway.
Okay.
Ready to meet
Okay.
I mean,
that's fine. But now it shouldn't be a problem.
Henry, our colleague Michael Asaibedu is on. I don't know if Michael, are you still on?
No, Michael is gone.
Oh, Michael is muted. I don't know whether he has a question, but let's see if he's still on. If Michael is on, I'm sure he would like to ask.
I like that young man.
Yeah, Michael.
Brilliant boy.
Yes, he is.
You know, he was once with me at AIB.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
They are trying to get Michael's connection. Michael is on. Michael, can you hear me? Yes, we can hear you and we can see you now. Henry Asante Twum is here. Do you have a question or two for him before we let him go?
Well, Mr. Hart, good morning.
Yeah, morning, Michael.
Yeah, but I trust everything is well.
We thank God.
Okay, so there's been much talk about the Hatsinodois, the Dinketiers. We've not yet had a stance from the FA officially concerning this development. I don't know. What would the FA do about this? Integrating such players into the national team. Is there a chance they can be drafted into it or anything like that? I will want to hear from the FA regarding this.
Well, let me say that is one of the issues we have discussed already. But it's important to to deal with issues without looking at specifics in situations like this. Yes, we believe in the quality of Hudson Odoi and Eddie Nketiah, which is why we contacted them some years ago, and wanted them to play for us. So it's not as if their quality is in doubt whatsoever. But at this point, it is important to do a holistic scouting rather than specifics, or rather than zeroing in on only two individuals. First, they are active players. Secondly, they are top quality players who can improve our team, and then finally, they have the competence and the quality to come in and make us better. But in the end, the technical team or the coaching staff call the shot. It's not the decision of maybe the FA president or the vice president to say, take this player or that player at all costs. We have to look at what they bring to the team and how they will improve the team, and whether they even fit into the philosophy of the coach. You know, because we shouldn't only be looking at 2026 World Cup and we are done. No. Beyond 2026, are they willing to continue? Will they still be available? Are they sure that they will be ready to fit into the African game? Because the World Cup is not an African thing. The African Cup of Nations is an African thing. How sure are we that they have the quality to fit into our system and all of that? So I think that if it is the decision that these players come in from the coaching angle, from the technical team angle, and they feel that this is the time to bring them in, I will only be here to confirm or to talk about the reasoning behind it. But at this point, nothing of such a sort has been done. No such decision has been made, and so we just have to wait and see what happens.
Michael, are you on?
Yeah, I'm on.
Wonderful.
I'm still on. And then this will be the final one. 2022, I saw an approach from the FA that included some local coaches, which had to do with Prosper Natogum. They were part of a team that went to Qatar, and it helped them in terms of the exposure. They were also given the opportunity to learn firsthand from the technical team that we assembled. Is there a similar plan for the local coaches here? Maybe let's say at the end of this season, the best local coach or the coach that wins the Ghana Premier League will be part of the traveling contingent to the USA, Mexico, and Canada, so that that coach can also learn firsthand from the technical team. Is that something that the FA will likely consider?
Okay. Michael, you know, after the draw, this would be the last thing on your list to think about at this particular moment. Yes, I want to commend the executive council for that singular decision to pick coaches along to go and study or go and learn something at the World Cup. I think Desmond Ofe was one of them at that time. Today he's the assistant coach of the team. Who knows what he may have picked up from that opportunity in Qatar 3 years ago. So I think that decision was good. But at this point, Michael, after the draw, the key areas we have actually focused on has been the hospitality area for our team, training areas for our team, hotels for our team, friendly matches for our team. Any other thing that has to do with, the administrative side will be discussed later. So at this point, the FA hasn't taken any decision in that regard. But it's good you have brought it up. Maybe I'll chip it in when I go back to the office and then see how it goes. But once we did the first one, which went well, I'm sure they would like to do it one more time.
I think finally, I said final question, but let me add this. You went to the USA with the team that went for the draw. I believe there were certain things that you were taking through aside the draw regarding the World Cup and everything around it. we had this issue with the Ghanaian media at the last African Cup of Nations where certain actions from the media portrayed Ghana differently, and it didn't speak so well about the Ghanaian media in terms of how we conducted ourselves. Would there likely be a workshop that the FA will organize, take the Ghanaian media through the do's and don'ts of the FIFA World Cup 2026 to guard against a repeat of what we witnessed at the last African Cup of Nations?
Very, very important question, Michael. Thank you. Maybe we'll look at it, but that will be capital intensive anyway. Looking at the media landscape and the amount of people involved, can you do a one-off workshop in Accra? And what happens to those in the northern belt? Do you have to, separate the country into three regions and say you are doing the western side, the eastern side, the northern side, or maybe the eastern, western, central, greater Accra in one zone, and maybe BA, and then the three northern regions in another zone together with Asante region. But we will look at it. Personally, before the last World Cup in Qatar, I through one of the media platforms, and then also a very famous brand, they organized some workshops. It was privately organized though, and I took the initiative to go there and speak to some of our colleagues. I think our conduct in Qatar was okay, but in Cote d'Ivoire it wasn't the best. Already we are struggling with numbers because FIFA has concerns regarding the way we patronage their competitions, which I've spoken about, and is the reason why every time we struggle for accreditation in FIFA tournaments. But it is good. I like your thoughts. We will look at it. Maybe we can organize it with SWAG or maybe GJA for our members. So thank you for bringing it up. We will discuss and see how it goes.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Hart, and have a wonderful day.
Thank you so much, and enjoy your day. We'll speak on the other side.
Michael, thank you. Henry, thank you once again. Ray, thank you. Yes.
Big shout out to Aminu Shadow. He's been listening. He's been listening to the conversation.
Oh, really?
What's Aminu saying?
He's threatening me as usual. So
why is he threatening you? For what? What did you say?
As for Aminu, we have our own fight.
Did you say something before I came?
No, he did. So I'm wondering.
So maybe that's a yes.
No, you and Aminu. You know when we were in Korea. When we were in Korea, we were discussing. I remember. That morning when we were discussing, was it the Abu? The 7-year.
I remember.
Aminu, you were Aminu. You see, Raymond the worry. Raymond be bad boy.
So I was just saying that you have repented. So he's
when did you back.
Oh, what is today's date?
Today is the 17th.
And what says the time?
It's 10:23.
And Raymond repents.
It says, yeah. Oh, man. Anyway, Henry, thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it. I'm sure we'll speak again soon. But listeners, that's how I wrap it up this morning on the Sporty Breakfast. Time check 10:23. I know we've gone past our time, but sometimes exceptional circumstances. Before we leave, 3 quick announcements. Dunia Safari and Sporty FM say they want to take you to the AFCON. Call them on 0